Good evening and welcome everybody to another day of the Amateur Arena presented by AOE. We're on day 4 of the event, and I'm really excited for this event. I think we have a lot of great talent on the amateur side as well as the academy side, and I think it's going to be awesome. I do want to introduce my guest here. We have Wes Rice. He's a head coach for C9 Academy, and Coach Koso from Supernova. A couple really intelligent, great people that will be helping us lead the show today. And to open it up, Wes Rice, what do you think about the matchup?
Ooh, so I think it's going to be very close. Like, I'm pretty excited to actually see what happens because honestly, I have no idea, and that's pretty thrilling to think about. I guess the only thing I'm really looking at is the support matchup. Pretty interested to see how well they can integrate Sword in the support role, because support's like a really important piece right now in the current meta. So, yeah, that's my eyes are definitely and see how bottom ends up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I think Sword and Winter is going to be interesting to see how these guys pair up in not only laning phase, but how they impact the top side of the map. You know, going through mid, impacting the, like you said, Wes Rice earlier, the Chippys and Spurge volatility that Chippys likes. I want to see how they pair up with the junglers and make plays again top side of the map. I want to see the DarkWings Strompest matchup. I want to see Strompest on melee champions. You know, maybe the Tryndamere, maybe the Yone, the Silas. I want to see a lot of brawling stuff early game, and see how these teams pair up. You know, going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, definitely going along those lines. I think, there are a lot of interesting matchups, especially in our solo lanes. We did see DarkWings compete against Five Fire's Tryndamere on day 1 of the amateur arena. And honestly, Five Fire looked incredible on it. So clearly the champ is pretty strong in this current meta. What do both of you, how do both of you think that's going to go down when we do get into it?
You want to start, West?
Were you asking about Tryndamere just now? Sorry, I misheard.
Yeah, Tryndamere. Obviously, because we're a little bit deeper now with Worlds, we've seen Tryndamere's appearance. So how do you guys think the players will be able to adjust and adapt to that lane?
I think Tryndamere's that sort of champion that once you get rolling and once he starts taking your camps, then it's going to be pretty hard to stop him. So I think this just goes back to like how each team plays the early game and how they can execute their team comps. It really depends on what really happens in the early game, because that's really going to dictate what happens mid-game and later on, because this meta right now is very, very snowbally. And it's just like whichever team executes their team comp early better, then I feel like they'll have the edge.
Yeah.
It's a scary champ.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. I mean, the sustain is really annoying for champions with mana pool issues. So that's going to be exciting to see if they're going to pull it out. Maybe it's just going to be banned. Same with Yuumi. I don't want to see any Yuumi first picks. I want to see something more exciting, something more challenging. Yeah. So hopefully they pick, to their own identities. I mean, if Yuumi's their identity, go for it and just like try to make the team play towards it. But yeah, Tryndamere is going to be interesting. I want to see more brawling stuff, just like you were saying. I want to see early game execution, not necessarily flippy stuff, but like volatility controlled on both sides, and how they translate that into mid game.
Awesome. Yeah, I completely agree. I think, Yuumi has been quite the force, and definitely, a lot of the talk lately. If a Yuumi were to slip through, let's say Sword picks it up, how do you think blue side, the team of Cody Sun, the team of Gamsu should react and prepare appropriately?
I think, or first, please ban Yuumi. But if they don't, if she gets through, then I can out of any top laner, I would trust Gamsu the most to negate that sort of pressure. Say what's necessary, have his jungler cover when it's needed, and then if they negate the whole early game with the Yuumi on the other side, on their side, then I feel like it can actually snowball their way as well. But please just ban her.
Yeah, Champ's really annoying to deal with. But again, calling resources is one of the things that's hardest to do as a solo lane in this rookie space and amateur space. So seeing how these players, call resources, get the lead, and then carry through mid game is something I'm going to be looking at. Itemization is a very weird subject, because I still see a lot of very interesting builds that just aren't not only thematically but mathematically just incorrect. I want to see more like shield bow LDRs, Kraken into BT. I want to see like just efficient builds and just how these players play with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you caught last night at all, the matchup between Captain Shrimps and Strompest seemed to perform extremely well. Obviously, I have a little bit of personal bias being the owner of AoE. DarkWings is my boy, but how do we think Strompest is going to look tonight? And how do you think he's going to perform against DarkWings in lane and most importantly out of lane, transitioning into mid game?
I've worked with Strompest for a while, so I know that in lane, he's gotten the better of DarkWings more often than not. But then in mid game, it kind of gets to that weird position where either he's not telling his team what he's trying to achieve, and that just messes with the flow, and he maybe gets caught mid game. So I want to see how he gets the lead in laning phase, and then tells his team what he's trying to do, and just doesn't get caught and actually performs. So I want to see some melee champs and some like high volatility mid top and jungle side, and a lot of skirmishing that he would call for. So hopefully we'll see that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not too familiar with the mid laners. Like, I know they're pretty solid, like mid laners from what I've seen in the past. They can both pop off. They both definitely have the potential to pop off. But I'm really curious on how they use their resources too, because the whole game, or like a huge part of the game, does revolve around mid lane. Because if you have mid prow, then you can pressure top, you can pressure bot, you can literally have so many options when you have mid lane control. So I'm curious on how both sides really utilize their resources to get that edge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great, guys. Well, it sounds like players are ready for draft here, so we're going to go ahead and transition it over, and I'll hand it off to the two of you to break it down and tell us a little bit more about the game as it unfolds.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. Thank you. I've seen a lot of the CLOL games that Strompest was in, and he just seems to get, because he's the carry of the team, he gets a lot of mid bans. Sometimes you'll see like 5 mid champions banned. So he struggles to find that one like carry pick that he can play, but he has a pretty large pool. So
Okay.
let's see how these teams like target each other, because they all know each other from solo queue and some of them from amateur scene.
Okay, yeah. So there's gonna be like a lot of target bans, right?
Yeah, there's going to be target bans. I'm not familiar with like every single one of these players, so we'll see. Maybe it's not target bans, maybe it's just like they're banning OPs, but we'll know if it's a target ban.
I saw some Draven bans against Sketchdreams yesterday.
Okay.
First game, it was just perma banned after that. I saw some of LeBlanc's first bans. So it seems like most of these bans are actually target bans, or like what has been working off of them. Some Vex bans too.
Yeah, Vex is really annoying.
I wonder if Vex will get through today. Karthus bans.
I hope so, yeah. Yeah, I think Karthus, not many people play Karthus. I know City played it yesterday. Did really well on it. Pretty high tempo. If you don't shut it down, it just takes over. AP jungles are really strong in the current meta. So I don't know if it's in Fanatiik and OddOrange's pool to play AP jungles. I think Fanatiik played Talia at some point in his career. He was like a Talia player. I'm not sure though. I might be confusing him with someone else. He plays a lot of Zinja though. I know that for sure.
Yana. Okay.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen the.
Ilios. Yeah, it actually bugged for me, but it's fine now. I can see the draft.
Yeah,
Rush of Ilios, TF into Casio. Last pick Fiora.
Okay, I see. The Kiana first pick.
Sorry, I'm getting so much information at once since the draft just showed up for me.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Like,
I'm looking at the bans first. At least Yumi's banned, so that's good.
All right, I'm giving the edge to the right side. Red side.
Already, just off 2 picks, just Thresh of Helios.
Wait. What?
Wait, are we? Are we? Yeah, hello?
No, I'm basing this off of draft law, right? Okay, yeah. So they have Fiora last pick. I don't think they can deal with the Fiora once it hits mid to late game with the TF pressure on their side.
Sorry, Wes. I'm watching Andy's Discord stream. That's why I'm a bit behind. I think I only have like 3 picks on left, 2 picks on right.
Yeah,
That's
I
why.
think there's some technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had some issues, but all I see is well, you'll tune in and see. There's a Kiana, Cassio, Nautilus straight up, just 1, 2, 3 on blue side. I think that's really interesting. Just blind Cassio, right? So maybe they wanted the Kiana jungle with AP mid synergy, but I think blind Cassio is a bit weird.
Yeah, I think the only reason for the blind Cassio like that is to flex it, which they ended up doing. I don't think you see it right now, but they ended up picking LeBlanc 4-5. They have LeBlanc to TF, which doesn't really make sense to me because TF is what you want into LeBlanc generally.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think blue side is going to be lacking a lot of ways to deal with the Talon and the side lane of the red side.
Is that a set?
They don't even get Prio versus blue side in the bot lane either, so I think red side will make a lot of mistakes this game.
We have a set Nautilus bot lane, is that correct, or is the set something else?
It looks like a Cassio Nautilus bot lane and set top.
Cassio Nautilus, okay, set top. Yeah, that makes more sense. Why I'm still looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
oh, it's like the screen is hiding.
It's all on the screen now. We're good.
I don't see it on the draft lol.
I'm just looking at the stream at this point.
Okay. Now I have the draft link. Thanks for the link, guys. Okay, so it's a Cassio Nautilus bot lane against Thresh Aphelios. How do you think that's gonna go? Who's in favor? Who gets Prio? Who should leash?
Destroys them. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if Aphelios Thresh don't leash, I mean I think they should. I mean they can leash and still get Prio. That's the funny thing. So.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, the Cassio pick doesn't make sense to me. I'm guessing because they're blue side, they'll have to blind pick a mid laner anyways, so I think they just try to go for something spicy with the Cassio pick, try to like throw an oddball at them, but TF, which is like too good for right side, Strompest.
He is too good, yeah, and I think the only thing that Cassio does well into on the right side is Fiora, but she has a TF and she doesn't necessarily need to like play against the Cassio, so it's just a weird combination there. So I'm definitely favoring right side as well. I think TF Fiora is going to play really well together. Just early game top set with the Kiana could be troublesome if Fiora overextends, doesn't ward, doesn't call resource as well. So I'll see how they manage their waves, and we'll see. If she gets an advantage, it's just doomed for left side.
Yeah.
So it's going to be top side focus.
Yeah, for sure. Like this game is like just looking at the draft. It's definitely I'm basing this completely off of like what's on my screen right now. But like if Chippys on this Fiora, if she ints like once and can't control the top lane anymore, then I think left side just instantly wins, like blue side. Because if they're ever in that situation where they're 5-manning objectives, I don't think right side can actually win those. But it just depends on which team can play to their win condition and execute their win condition better than the other team. They both have very different win cons, so it's pretty interesting to watch this game.
Yeah, where do you think Talon is going to focus his attention to? Is it more top side or bot side?
Talon?
Yeah, Talon.
I think top side. I think bot lane. I think Aphelios Thresh is pretty self-sufficient, unless Cassio and Nautilus are in a bad situation that Talon can look. But I think if everything goes according to plan, I think Talon is definitely gonna be focusing top side, mid top.
Yeah.
I think bangers are gonna happen mid, kind of open up the TF a little bit. Once TF is level 6, then they're gonna look for side lanes. Is what I think will happen.
Yeah, I think Kiana should go through mid early to secure that top scuttle, because Set's gonna be winning against VR early as well. I don't think bot's gonna have any agency bot, the Cassio Nautilus against Thresh Aphelios. So they should focus on top side, the left side of the team and right side as well. So we'll see how they play out. But for Scuttle, I think Talon should be playing for bot and then cover top if Fiora is getting a lot of pressure. It's gonna be hard for Chippys to control the lane state against Set early. And if those 3 waves come crashing and then you get like an LBTP, let's say, or Kiana just 2v1 because Fiora took a bad trade, then the lane's over kind of for the Fiora. So we'll see how that goes when the game starts.
Pretty volatile, pretty excited
Yeah,
to
like
see
you
how-
said, I mean, Chippys likes that stuff, so hopefully he knows how to manage that kind of pressure. Because a lot of this early game is going to be on him playing the lane correctly.
And I think Chippys and OddOrange are. I do believe they were on a team.
Yeah, MU.
University. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can expect some synergy there already.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they pair up against Fanatiik Spurge. I don't know if they did with each other, probably in solo queue, but Fanatiik is a heavy playmaker. He makes most of the calls, I think, with Winter as well, and that I think Resolve was their team, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think I worked with Fanatiik like a couple years back. I think 2017 or 18. He was in Scouting Grounds, and I just remember hearing him in the voice comms. He's a great shot caller.
Yeah, a lot of good energy from these two.
Mhm.
A lot of hype stuff, yeah. I don't know how right side's comms are gonna look like. I know Strompest in comms, if there's not enough comms being said, he will take over. But if there's a loud voice on the team, he will say only the necessary stuff that he needs from the team or what he can do for the team. So we can't listen in, unfortunately. So we'll see how they we'll see how the units move together.
For sure.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Amateur Arena presented by AOE Esports. We have got Team Gamsu on your blue side and Team Cody Sun on your red side. These are some pretty big names, DJ, and I'm just super excited to get into some of the action here in these in-houses.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well, and I'm excited to be joining you, Grapes, on this very special day. Very fruit-themed, of course, as we have OddOrange as a part of Team Cody Sun in the jungle on this talent. And of course, you've got your special costume on today as a part of the bet that we made a couple of weeks ago. It's finally here, and I can't wait for the end when we can finally show people how beautiful you look.
Yeah, so for everybody who's a bit confused over what's going on here, obviously there's the OddOrange in the game. My name is Grapes, but a couple of weeks back, me and DJ had a bit of a bet who could reach 200 followers first on Twitter, because as we all know, being a good caster is, associated purely by how much clout you have on the internet. So it didn't really work out for me, and so as a loss of the bet, here I am. I am currently in costume right now. It's slightly warm actually around here in my room.
Speaking of bets, Grapes, you want to make another bet? Who's winning this game?
The success of them before. For me, I don't know if that's the best idea. I think I might have to pass on this one. But in terms of who's winning this game, there's a lot of players who have done a whole lot of winning in the amateur circuit over the past year. Got Gamsu and Cody Sun, the captains of these teams that are very, very well versed in the esports community, and lots of young stars as well as we make our way around the teams.
Yeah, everybody here continuing as a part of the Amateur Arena to get themselves ready for the 2022 season. And this is an exciting way to get ready because, again, Westrice and Koso mentioned it on the desk. This is going to be a thrilling top 3v3. This is Hook Does Land, Guardian.
Not too much happening just yet. This is interesting, though, because we got two TSM Academy players in this game, and they're both in the bot lane, but there's no Yursan today here. It's actually Sword, the former substitute mid laner, playing down in the bot lane on this Thresh alongside Cody Sun's Aphelios. That's very interesting adaptation. I'm very excited to see how this moves forward, if Sword is interested in role swapping in the future, if this is just like a one-time thing. But so far, it's gone pretty well for them down in the bottom lane.
Yep, very strong bottom lane that they have drafted for themselves, the Aphelios and the Thresh. As mentioned, again, they should have prio in this lane. They are currently getting it, Grapes, so very nicely done by this new look TSM bottom lane of Cody Sun and Sword. And again, that's going to help what is sort of the more critical portion of this early game that's happening in top lane.
Yeah, there's OddOrange already. Nice two-man facebreaker coming in from Gamsu. The Haymaker is not even being able to finish the channel. First blood will go over to Team Cody Sun on the side of the OddOrange.
And Fanatiik is hanging around at the moment, but he is being pinged out. I believe he's walked over a ward and cleared it out, so they know he's here. And this is a beautiful start to this game for Chippys and OddOrange. It was mentioned Chippys needs to be even or ahead in this lane as the game goes on. Set definitely wins the early levels, but at some point this Fiora is just going to be pretty much unstoppable if Chippys can stay healthy, can keep on his item spikes. So lovely start with the wave management to allow that gank to come in from OddOrange. They'll clear the wave away in the face of the TP from Gamsu as well, and it's a good start for the red side.
And you can even see Strompest sending that teleport up to the top lane to make sure that Chippys is safe up there. I mean, this just confirms our suspicions, DJ, that a lot of focus is going to be had here towards this top side. Chippys on this Fiora in a volatile matchup against this set here for Gamsu. And already we see OddOrange and Strompest making their way up there. Fanatiik tried to counter, and Strompest with the teleport to answer right back.
And again, very nice cover, right? We mentioned how important the 3v3 would be. Strompest understands it as well. He knows he can sacrifice at the moment. Chippys, though, is going to get caught out.
Teleport into the backside of the ward there. Nice use of that Haymaker. Gamsu taking out about 50% of Chippy's HP right off of his return from base, and the wave crashing in. Gamsu is going to potentially try to make this work alongside Fanatiik. Teleport is not available for Strompest because they used it earlier. And there comes Fanatiik dashing forward. Chippys with a flash face breaker, but looks like he'll be flashing right away from that. Gamsu with a nice attempt, but it doesn't really matter too much as long as this wave stays alive here for Chippys to collect.
Yeah, I'm actually very impressed with that for Chippys. He teleports back into the lane without any TP cover from his team, takes a chunk, the wave pushes in, and somehow manages to get away from the second gank from Fanatiik, wasting the jungler's time and staying alive. Now the 2v2.
So here comes Hop over from OddOrange, going to dash forward, coming with the rake. DarkWings actually forced to flash away as well. Sees Strompest and Fanatiik also around this top side quadrant. I mean, DJ, this is a lot of attention here.
Wait, they
towards
got
this
him.
top side.
Are they gonna find him?
For something here. OddOrange just gonna try to force this wave out, and looks like Gamsu will go for it back. No, Fanatiik, no!
Oh!
Fanatiik. Fan was so focused on the top lane, he forgot to focus on his own jungle, apparently. Just a faster recall at this stage in the game, but it never feels great.
Oh no, it's disastrous. He has to go clear that still, Graves. He's picking it out right now. The question marks are coming through. And I think you're right. I think you kind of summed it up. The focus on the top side has just been so heavy from both these teams. Again, just confirming what West Trice and Kosa were predicting on the desk, how important this matchup is. Multiple roams, TPs from the mid laners, multiple ganks from Fanatiik, but it is still balanced in that top side. Chippys has stayed alive. He's gotten himself an assist, but he is pretty far down on CS at the moment. The chaos will undoubtedly continue as they're getting towards that level 6 mark.
Yeah, a lot of trading back and forth here. The wave is pushing back towards Chippys for the moment, though, so looks like he might be able to equalize a little bit of this farm. But taking a look at the gold, a lot of it is in favor of Chippy's team with Team Cody Sun, about 800. And I think a large portion of that is in that jungle. You see OddOrange up about 4 camps, has that first blood kill as well over Fanatiik. And that is just yielding a lot of momentum going forward for the Red Squad so far.
Yeah, and that's really been the trade-off, right? The CS lead for Gamsu has come at the price of that attention from Fanatiik that has allowed the OddOrange to sprint ahead. And of course, he does have that first blood gold as well. While the buys look equal right now, it is certain that OddOrange will get himself an advantageous buy. His prio in the bot lane is earning them a Drake at the moment as well on that bottom half of the map, uncontested, as again, the focus for the rest of this game has been all on that top side. So they'll take their free Drake, but again, as the level 6s come in, still got to get Chippys towards that 1 item mark. He's done a good job so far, just a little bit longer to go.
Finally, the wave is crashing in up top, and you still see Fanatiik alongside Winter making their way up towards this top side. Strompest is going to ward them off, and Strompest, mid laner of Supernova for this entire year of 2021, on this Twisted Fate, which is a champion that I don't know if we see too much out of him, but obviously now being the preseason, TF has had a very high presence here in the World Champions, which will be exciting to see. But what's more exciting is helping the top side. Grand Challenge has been issued. Chippy's going to dash away and collects a solo kill off the failed dive coming out from Gamsu. Bit of an over-aggressive play from the set, and already Chippy's off and running now in the mid lane. Gold card has been thrown in onto DarkWings, with Sword joining the fray as well. 2-0 so far for Team Cody Sun.
That's so nice from Chippys. The solo kill under his own turret in the top side. Gamsu may be feeling the weight of that timer, the Fiora coming through, tries to make a play, but Chippys is equal to him, and that is huge for a player that is stepping up to the Proving Grounds winner, right? Gamsu is that PG winner from 100 Academy. Chippys did not quite have the same run that he had, so a lot to prove for Chippys, for someone like Strompest and a champion that he doesn't play a lot. And so far, Red Side is showing up in this early game with that top side working for them and a 1.5k gold lead.
Rift Herald picked up as well for the OddOrange. Potentially could look to take some plates up in the top side before they end up falling. Right now, things are working very well for the red team, and as we said, a lot of attention has been around the top side. Haven't really been able to talk much about these bot laners that are going on right now. Sketchdreams on this Cassiopeia alongside Winter, going to pick up a plate in the bottom lane. And again, this is the time here in these in-houses for some experimentation, some champions that, you know, we might not see in some real competition, but Sketchdreams on one of these control mages is very interesting.
Yeah, the Snake Lady hasn't been the bottom laner in quite some time, Grapes. We did see a bit of it, I believe, last season when bot lane Cassio was super strong, but just hasn't quite had the numbers or the spikes this season for it. So maybe Sketchdreams working on a little something. Not sure if there have been any recent buffs, but definitely an interesting angle for him to take as more fighting at top.
Big trading. There's the grand challenge. Flash away from Gamsu. There's a set favorite towards the beginning of the game, but after that 1v1, after the Iron Spike whip pickup, looks like Fiora is having a very happy time here. Chippys still has the wave pushing towards him, so he has a lot of agency so far right now in this lane.
Yeah, he does have some agency. I'm actually a little surprised, though, Grapes. If we do look at the items, right? It's an Iron Spike whip into the Bramble Vest. I'm forgetting that. Oh, the Phage, excuse me. That's a fairly equivalent buy, I would say, stats wise at this point in the game. So I'm a little surprised that Chippys is having such a good time. It's really, again, that sort of 1 item mark where it starts to get a little better for Fiora, and then 2 item marks you start to just take over against this set. So getting ahead of the curve, I suppose, is Chippys in this lane, and still feeling very good about this state as we are looking at a bottom lane dive.
TheOddOrange looking over here, gonna hop over the wall, gonna get hit up by the dredge line though from Winter. The miasma means that he can't go through with the lantern. TheOddOrange goes down as Sketchdreams picks up a kill under his turret, but now on the top side, Destiny Gate used to go towards the top lane for Strompest. Chippys will get the final hit as Gamsu falls for the 3rd time this game.
Yeah, interesting play from Red Side as they decide to go cross-mapping, but normally it's 2 different teams that go cross-mapping, Grapes. This time Red Side tries to make a play on bottom and on top. Only one of them succeeds as TheOddOrange does get stuffed on the play down bottom, but they do manage to find a play up top with that sort of split map situation. Strompest making the right call to head on up and continue to farm his top laner. Chippys gets himself another kill. Gamsu falls to 0-3, and this is just more acceleration for that matchup that will get out of control very, very shortly.
Yeah, the farm lead still is with Gamsu, but Chippy's definitely ahead so far in this matchup, picking up those play to skill caps upon that reset. Headed back with a bounty on his head, and that's talking about that bot lane play once again as we have the time. I mean, that's a really interesting interaction there, DJ. The lantern blocked by the miasma here. Maybe Cassio might be seen as a counter to Thresh in the future.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason we did see it come in, although it was selected fairly early in the draft, but it does just negate a lot of the mobile champions in the game right now, the meta champions, right? Talon can't dash when you're in that pool. The lantern doesn't really work, so, oh, hold on.
There's the ultimates coming through from Winter. Going to knock up Strompest here. TheOddOrange still looking to go forward. Shadow Assault is available if he wants to continue the chase, and chase he will. Nice supreme display of talent coming out from Fanatiik, and now DarkWings is dashing forward with the chains, looking for the rest of the Red Tide members. Like no other kills are going to come back as Cody and Sketchdreams have joined their teammates in the mid lane. Rift Herald going to be popped mid. Dragon is available here, that Mountain Drake, and right now they're just going to get some prio in another lane to prevent any objectives from falling.
Yeah, that Shadow Assault being down though makes it very hard to contest if you are Team Strompest, or excuse me, Team Cody Sun. I've mixed up my players here. Yeah, Grapes makes it a little tough to contest without that ulti there, particularly when Cody Sun is sort of zoned off on the other side of the fight. So they're not going to aggress the dragon just yet. The pings are now coming out though, as I believe they do see both Fanatiik and Winter hanging around. 2 members from Resolve during the amateur circuit, and ulti going to come out from Cody Sun.
Yeah, just trying to zone a little bit, get an extra bit of damage onto the bot lane here for Team Gamsu. For now, looks like they will back off. That dragon still has not been taken yet, even with a lot of the presence in the bottom side for these 2 junglers. And as I say that, TheOddOrange rotating up with Cody and Sword, potentially making a play towards this objective. Strompest headed down to the bot lane as well.
Yeah, I think they might have done enough, right? That chunk coming out from the Moonlight Vigil from Cody Sun, the fact that Fanatiik does not have the supreme display of talent, meaning maybe it's a little bit too difficult for Blue to contest, and they will give it up. This will move them to 2 Drakes on red side. Unfortunately, they're going to get a little bit of bad RNG, as it will be a Cloud Soul up for grabs in this game. Meanwhile,
Sketchdreams flashing forward, has the miasma on the head of Cody. There's the exhaust to boot. One more Twin Fang will do it, and even if Sketchdreams wasn't able to finish that one off, had a whole lot of teammates there to just cheer him on. Solo kill over to the former AoE bot laner.
Clever stuff from Sketchdreams, playing off of the vision. Cody Sun definitely thinking that the rest of Blue side had full reset. They were still coming out back onto the rift. Sketchdreams lying in wait like the snake he is in this game, finds himself a nice solo kill on his mythic Spike.
And with that, it looks like the rest of Team Gamsu is also headed down to this bottom side of the map. Looks like they're forfeiting a bit in terms of the Gamsu into Chippy's matchup. Instead, trying to focus on this bottom side. Sketchdreams, who does have all the kills for the team so far, is also going to get some help from Fan to pick up this first turret. And right now, it looks like that's the eggs that they're going to try to put into the basket, as it's still a 1,500 gold lead here for Team Cody Sun.
Yeah, it's a nice play using that advantage earned by Sketch in the bottom side to get the early turret. But while they'll get the extra gold from that bottom lane turret, they do lose a critical bastion of defense in the mid lane turret. This will open up the kind of shallow portions of blue side's jungle. And that's a pretty nice sign for red side. Team Cody Sun wants to work through this top side. Now with mid lane turret down, you kind of force into the jungle with multiple members, walk on over to one side of the map and pressure people off of the tier 1 turret. So really nice positioning, I still think, for the red side, for Team Cody Sun, as there's a trap being sprung around them on this Rift Herald. This is risky for Winter and Fanatiik.
Yeah, looks like they want to try to contest this second Rift, though. Here comes DarkWings also from the top side. Supreme Display Town is going to land onto TheOddOrange, as well as a depth charge knocked up and taken down. Fanatiik picks up with the kill on his opposing jungler. Gamsu coming in from the backside. Showstopper in onto Sword. Chippys is wreaking havoc, though, onto Fanatiik. The Rift Herald will go over, but Strompest will pick up the kill onto the jungler. Chippys got the heal zone. Is going to dash out to just get himself away. At the end of the day, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Gamsu. They also get that Rift Herald.
Whew, and I thought it looked risky from Fanatiik and Winter, but boy, was I wrong. They walk in there brazenly. The supreme display of talent does so much damage and has so much area of effect in that pit, Grapes. They absolutely burst out TheOddOrange, and then the rest of the team can funnel into the river. They are a very strong team fighting composition with this set, with this Cassiopeia. While Chippys TPs into the backside and gets himself a kill, you can see that Cody Sun never feels comfortable getting into that fight. He only lands some damage with his Moonlight Vigil, and if you don't have that auto attacker in a comfortable enough position, you're always going to lose out on that 5v5.
Yep, we'll see what happens with this Rift Herald now in Fanatiik's hands. As the plates have fallen, not going to get too much off of it in terms of extra value via plates or anything like that, but always nice to get a chunk off of a tower or two. This looks like Fanatiik and the rest of his team headed towards this top side. Strompest getting attacked here, distortion forward alongside the chains, but a nice gold card from the TF to prevent DarkWings from going forward.
Yeah, Strompest is out on that side. We haven't quite seen a lot out of Strompest since that early play. The Destinies not quite used maybe to full effect. We did see a little bit of kind of split mapping from red side, so maybe the communication not quite on point, but we're going to need more of that as this game progresses with Chippys on the side lane. He's on that one item mark, DarkWings.
Going to be the target here. Dashing forward is TheOddOrange. Nice chain to zone him off, and more attention also given up to the top side again, but now because of that, Fanatiik has rotated mid and will help Sketchdreams try to take down this tower. Doesn't look like the rest of Cody Sun's team would want to have that happen. Chippys dashes forward for a little bit. The tower is almost dead and finally falls. So a nice chunk of gold also going over to Team Gamsu as they are stabilizing this gold lead very, very well.
Yeah, they certainly are, and that felt a little bit of an overcommitment from Team Cody Sun. They sent 4 members, Graves, to the top side to try to deal with DarkWings, but he's on a LeBlanc. He just kind of slides on away with the distortion. They don't get anything for it, and with all those members on the top side, they just give up their mid lane turret to the second Rift Herald, which they knew they lost at the team fight. So a bit of a potential mistake there, but Strompest has caught out DarkWings this time.
Yeah, let's see if DarkWings can get around this one. TheOddOrange and Cody Sun looking around the alcove. Which one is a fake clone? Which one is the real one? There it goes. DarkWings out of mana. Cody Sun gonna finish it off with the final shot from the Inferno.
Yep, they'll even give it over to the AD carry, like where the gold placement goes, and this will be a nice victory for them. They'll get the extra pick because of Strompest quick thinking with the Destiny, and they will get a second outer turret here. Actually, it's going to be the third one. I must have missed the bot lane turret going down. So that is the full line out now, Grapes, for the likes of Team Gamsu. And that will set up this sort of invade from Team Cody Sun, as they now have basically full control of the shallow portions of Blue Side's jungle.
In return, the second dragon of the game does go over. Oh, sorry, first dragon of the game for Team Gamsu will go over, as Fanatiik was able to pick that one up with all the attention focused towards the top side. But still, big advantages going forward towards Team Cody Sun. Looking very good, especially while they play around Chippys. This Fiora doing so good. The OCE import sitting at 2-0 and 2 already has that shutdown. Looking to just create a whole lot of impact all over the map. Going to the side lanes, farming out these waves, taking out the turrets, and 1v1ing anybody in sight.
He's getting very, very close now. Grapes already have excuse me, his mythic item. He's working towards that second Hydra item as well. And once that's completed, nobody can really answer him on a side lane. He's trying to create that pressure right now, but considering where they are off the reset timers, it will be a nice little steal here from Team Gamsu. DarkWings trying to dive in. Baiting.
Try to continue to push a little bit further here, but not much just yet, as right now as we hit the 20-minute mark of this game. Whole lot of just stable play coming out from these two teams. Nobody's too aggressive, nobody's too passive. A lot of players playing their own game in the bot lane, though. We got the top laners duking it out a little bit, and you can see how powerful Chippys is so far, winning these 1v1.
Yeah, and again, it's not even on his 2-item spike, Grapes. Like, this is what you want if you are Team Cody Sun. You've got that sort of stable core, and Chippys is ahead. He can have these advantages on Gamsu. He should win the 1v1 even at this point if he plays it well, and it is going to start creating problems for the likes of Team Gamsu. Gamsu wants to be around objectives, but it's hard to force Team Cody Sun to go to an objective when you're not near Dragon Soul and you're not really a threat at Baron just yet.
Dragon spawning rather shortly here. As look at the top side, DarkWings gonna have the chain land onto Strompest, gonna force the cleanse out. Strompest with that unsealed spellbook, preventing that re-engage coming out from DarkWings. And right now things are just a bit calmer here. Hook's gonna go forward, land onto Sketchdreams, and looks like the former TSM mid lane is gonna go forward on the Thresh. Going in is TheOddOrange, but he gets stunned up right away with the ultimate there from Sketchdreams. He will fall to Fanatiik. Chippys going in onto the grand challenge, in onto Sketchdreams. Will not be able to pick up the kill, as Fanatiik will get that shutdown onto the Fiora. Good turnaround there for Team Gamsu as they pick up 2 kills on the top side, but Sword and Cody are looking for more. Nice hook landing onto Winter, not going to find too much off of that, but after that 2-for-0, it looks like the rest of Team Gamsu team is headed to Baron.
Yeah, they can do this. They have a Cassiopeia. Grapes already on 2 items is Sketchdreams, so they can burn through this. DarkWings already getting some chunks down onto Cody Sun, and this will be slightly risky, but they can burn it. Already 50% HP.
Cody does a lot of damage right now. Gonna throw out the Moonlight Vigil. The Infernum's gonna shoot out onto a lot of members here. Winter's taking dangerously low, but that's basically it. All that Team Cody has to hope for is Strompest wild card, and cards were not wild enough. Baron's gonna go over to Team Gamsu as they try to turn this game around.
Big win for Team Gamsu in the fight in mid lane. And again, you can see the superior team fighting from their composition, from Sketchdreams, who is positioned so well in these fights. 2-0-3, 230 CS on this Cassiopeia. He's just able to evade Chippys on the TP. It stays alive, splits the fight, and that gives them the win and the Baron. I have to say, as close as Chippy's got, I'm a little surprised he tried to match Gamsu's TP. They know that they don't win these team fights, Grapes. They don't quite have a 5v5 composition. You could have let Gamsu TP into that fight and just continued to apply pressure as a split pusher. I don't know if the TP from Chippy's ever going to be as effective as it will be from Gamsu.
We'll see as the side lanes will continue to get pushed forward from Chippys, even with this Baron buff over to Team Gamsu. As the rest of the team is headed towards the mid lane, going to try and siege down this mid lane inner turret. We also see Fanatiik and Sketchdreams headed down to this bottom side as they're pushing in multiple lanes. But as we said before, Chippy's still going to try and split push here in these sides. Going to pick up that outer turret up in the top lane. And now Gamsu is forced to match as well, which gives a little bit more breathing room over to Team Cody Sun.
Yeah, I really like this approach, actually, from Team Cody Sun. They give up 1 lane of push. They say, you're only going to get 1. We're going to send our strong split pusher to the far side of the map. We're going to brute force down mid. So you will get a push onto our bot side. You nearly get the turret, but you're not going to get much else off of this Baron push, and not even that much control earned from Team Gamsu. So I really like that approach from Team Cody Sun to slow this Baron push.
Fourth dragon of the game has just spawned. Will be that second cloud, and looks like it'll go over relatively uncontested to Team Gamsu. Gonna pick up their second cloud dragon of the game, even up the count at 2, and nice lantern out from Sword to save Strompest from the Kiana ultimate. Things are looking a little bit dicey there, but after all is said and done, not too much lost here by Team Cody on the Baron push.
Yeah, great. Sword's a new support, but he's already getting his timings down. That's a nice dark passage to get his mid laner out to safety. And he's had a couple of those so far this game. Again, the attention has been much more on the top side in the early goings, but that is going to be a critical ability throughout these fights to come in the most important stage of the game. Now, 25 minutes in, dead even on Drakes. The gold is basically dead even. And a reminder that these two comps want to do vastly different things. Team Cody Sun still wants to be on this sideline. Trapping set Chippys.
Chippys might have found out a little bit more than he desires. Gonna have to try and fight this 1v2. Here comes Strompest here with the Destiny Gate. They're gonna take down the LeBlanc immediately, and now Fanatiik is forced to run to the hills. Here comes Cody, and here comes Winter and Sketch as well. This fight is erupting into a whole lot more than a 1v2. Not too much is going to happen after this. Looks like both sides are just going to take what they got back out for now. Nice play coming out from Chippys and Strompest to keep themselves alive down in the bottom lane.
Absolutely beautiful from Strompest. This is the synergy mentioned in the draft, right? Normally, if you're a split pushing composition, you're afraid of playing against Twisted Fate for this exact reason. He can show up in your lane at a moment's notice, but it feels really great when he's on your team, Graves, because they try to trap Chippys. They forget there's an extra member who's chomping at the bit. Strompest shows up in an instant, turns the fight around, and now they're a member light to Team Cody Sun, who can continue to clear these waves away, to let the Baron expire, and to get themselves ready for the next objective.
Very, very tense game here in game one of this day here in the Amateur Arena presented by AOE. And it's very interesting to see these kill counts really low. It's only 12 at 26 minutes, so a little bit less than 1 every 2, I believe, if my math is right. And it's interesting because this is, you know, a substitute, so to speak, for the solo queue that we have to offer in NA. And right now, it seems these teams are really taking it a lot more serious than you might if you just decided to queue up on a random Tuesday night.
Oh, absolutely. These guys have been duking it out in all 3 of the nights we've already had in Amateur Arena, Graves. And night 4 is no exception. Very, very serious bands. Everyone trying to go for strategies that they've worked on or need to work on. And they're certainly going hard in this game. Some of the creative things are working, right? Sketchdreams 2-0-3 on this Cassiopeia. 3 items in the bottom lane has worked wonders. Strompest has looked very good on the Twisted Fate on some of these plays, and again, still balanced on a knife's edge. So we'll see who's got that the nerves of steel, so to speak, as this game gets into its most critical stage, with the next Baron coming up very shortly and the next Drake doing the same.
Yeah, having those objectives spawn on opposite sides of the map in a couple of minutes is going to be really important. I'm expecting that to be a bit of a breaking point for a fight to maybe open. Looks like some aggressive posturing is happening, though, for Team Gamsu. Sword this might be caught a bit out of place here. DarkWings going to land a chain. Sword is going to miss that hook, and if you didn't like that chain, here's another for Sword. A bit of a mispositioning error here for that newly found support. So he gets caught out right around that Baron pit.
Yeah, but I think that's exactly the way to describe it. Graves just a little bit too eager to get the vision, doesn't respect where DarkWings to be, and there's so much CC on this composition. Now they're trying to dive!
Yeah, now at the 5v4, it looks like it's Team Gamsu going forward. Moonlight Vigil here onto Fanatiik. A lot of damage from Cody Sun from a million miles away, but DarkWings is the only one to pick up a kill onto the TheOddOrange. So far, just a 2-for-0 in favor of Team Gamsu, but Chippys has base, looking to potentially push for more. Not going to find anything just yet, as looks like the resets are going to come through unless Chippys finds somebody out. Going down back into the mid lane. Strompest is going to teleport forward again, but he goes right into the middle of the enemy team. Sketchdreams will pick up the kill, and now it's in terms of Chippys, who blocks the ultimate coming out from Sketch. He picks up the kill onto Winter and is forced to lunge out of the way. Chains will still land despite the blast cone coming through, and here comes Fan from the base. Chippys trying to outplay, trying to find the vitals. Going to parry forward here onto Fanatiik, pops the stopwatch. There comes Gamsu, though, with the face breaker, and finally Chippys falls.
Yeah, 3 items. Chippys nearly gets it done, but it's a bridge too far. The stopwatch is in. They didn't check for it, and too many members around him. They will clean it up, and the first poor Destiny, really, this game. Okay, hold on. TheOddOrange, he wants in. Yep. What? Okay, ulti.
Alright, it's at 2,500. TheOddOrange sees the angle. He's going to flash forward. Barely missed the smite. Hops right over the wall to secure his life. But really good attempt there coming out from TheOddOrange. But it's Baron number 2 actually picked up for Team Gamsu. Game is still so close, so the gold is still only 1,000. Team Gamsu is going to have to try and push and extend this lead if they want to have a chance to take this game.
Yeah, they really do. Because again, right, the win condition on the other side is these side lanes. And we saw even through the first Baron, Graves, they weren't quite able to get enough control of the map to decisively shut down Chippys on a side lane. Strompest came to help and shut down their push. Cody Sun.
There's a chain. Going to land. Shield bow popped. Will DarkWings continue to go forward? Gonna flash forward with the distortion, picks up the shutdown, and the main carry here for Team Cody Sun will fall. See Chippy still in the side lane, but the rest of Team Gamsu pushing towards this mid lane inhibitor.
That's going to be huge. That's going to break open the base grapes, and this is what Team Gamsu was waiting for. Huge play from DarkWings. Now Hook going to land.
Hook lands onto Strompest. Petrifying Gaze finds TheOddOrange, almost dead. Tries to get away with the Shadow Assault. The Strompest has already fallen here. Chippy's going to get hit up by the Hook again. Level 17. Can he fight this in the 1v5? Gets the first kill onto Winter. Heals up a lot. Ends up falling to DarkWings, though, and the end is just Sword, and it's just TheOddOrange against 4 strong members of Team Gamsu.
Yeah, 9 seconds on Cody Sun. There's still a lot of Baron empowered minions. OddOrange and Sword need to be heroes, so this game might just end.
Cody just about to respawn, but it might just be too late. Nexus is now exposed, and Cody Sun going to try to do its best, but the Nexus is continuing to be hit down, taken out. And Team Gamsu takes game 1 here in the amateur arena.
Huge performance from Team Gamsu in this game. Despite a bit of a rough start in that top side 3v3 grapes, they stick to their win conditions. They understand what they need to do to get this victory, and they get the critical moments and performances in these fights to do it. Sketchdreams and DarkWings. Sketchdreams in those first 2 fights, grapes, was immaculate with his positioning on this Cassiopeia, landing the critical pools, the critical pools and the critical stone gaze. And then at the end of the game, DarkWings, with the mobility, with the pickoffs, the solo kills, is able to put the dagger into Team Cody Sun for the game 1 win.
There's so much to look forward to for both of these teams coming in, and it seemed like everybody really delivered. You had the OddOrange and Chippys up on the top side going for some of those early aggressive plays. Cody Sun and Sword, this new bot lane that we're really excited to see, is performing pretty well as well. And on the other side, Gamsu and the rest of his team definitely struggled towards the early game, but really managed to come back in some of the team fights. DarkWings looked exceptional on the LeBlanc, and they were able to take that first game. But we got 2 more to go here in the amateur arena. The same teams will be taking the Rift in just a little bit. But before we do that, going to head over to the analyst desk to break down some of that action.
Everybody to the analyst desk for the amateur arena presented by AOE. Of course, we still have Coach Koso and Wes Rice here with me. Really interesting game 1. It definitely a little bit different from last night. Last night we had a high number of takedowns. We had a banger with 70 plus takedowns, and definitely looked different. So before the game took off, we talked about a few things. We were curious how Sword would look in the support position, how Strompest would transition into mid game and his post lane phase. But overall, it seemed like Team Gamsu had control of the game and just kind of played it nicely. What did you two notice, Wes Rice and Koso?
I think so there's like so many things. So like if we identify the win conditions for both sides, the right side in like the perfect world, if they execute it properly, I don't see how blue side can actually beat right side. But there were a lot of unforced errors on the red side mid game. So that's exactly what blue side wants. It's very easy to play the blue side if the red side keeps messing up, because all they have to do is group and push S5, which is exactly what we saw. There was like a big team fight mid that turned into the favorite blue side, and then they got Baron and they pushed the end. The early game was something very, I think definitely they should, Gamsu's team should really look at what they did in the early game and how they can fix it for the next one, because it looked like they were not on the same page. It looked like Gamsu was trying to crash the third wave, and then right side had full information on what was going on in the early game. So OddOrange just ran top and just killed him for free, got a free TP. So like there's a lot of like errors there. So I think both sides should look at that. But yeah, I think red side had a great early game. They made some blunders in the mid game, but blue side was very, very good at punishing those mistakes, and eventually they just pushed to win.
Yeah, when you have that kind of volatility in topside, you really want to make sure that your jungle is on the same page, especially when you're trying to crash like third wave. And if you die once, TP back, die again, your game's pretty much over. That didn't end up happening. He didn't TP back and die again. But dying, when you have 9 CS is really crucial, especially when you're against the Fiora that, just carries over later on. They definitely, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, go on. My bad.
They definitely started correcting their mistakes. I mean, it's a thing in amateur that when you make a mistake related to like your team's identity or like your draft identity, it's really important to correct it. And for red side, they ended up doing that and started playing more towards the sides at like 25 minutes in. I think that was a bit too late. They were playing too much into blue side's win condition, which was, blue side had the setup first, and then red side had to walk into their setup, and they were actually forcing team fights and having Fiora TP into them. So that was really bad for red side, especially when you have like a 2-3k gold lead, even after first Baron that you threw. It was really important to continue playing to that win con, but it didn't end up working.
Yeah, definitely right side had different mindsets coming into the mid game. I think it's pretty simple. All you have to do is play around your top laner and not the other way around. I think Sword, he landed a hook and it looked pretty juicy, I'm not gonna lie. But then blue side, they just instantly TP'd, and then there was a 5v5 mid-team fight, which is exactly what blue side wants, like you said. So that's a huge unforced error there that really swung the game. And there was another timing around, it was in the early game, around 4 minutes and 20. Gamsu was actually 1v1 diving Chippys, which was definitely possible. Like, I think that could have worked, but he didn't need to do a 1v1. I think Fanatiik could actually just walk up and kill him with them, or just help get mid prio and just 3-man dive Chippys. But instead he opted into the 1v1, which is very, very risky. Like, if he killed Fiora, it would have been a much different game. But he got solo killed by him, which was obviously very bad. So I think there's like a lot of missing teamwork on both sides. But I think moving on to the next games, I feel like if you're going to play a split push comp, you really need to be on the same mindset and actually know what you're playing around, because it looked like red side was actually tripping on a few things.
Yeah, I think when you have an LB on your team, you really want to play the swinging top mid to top. They didn't end up doing that. A lot of the times they could have used LB more for that top side instead of taking the risk himself as the set against the Fiora in his volatile matchup. Playing more in isolation is giving Fiora the win con, especially if you're like misplaying or creating that risk yourself. You want the advantage. You want that percent play to be on your side. So I want to see more of that later, and I want to see both teams playing more towards their win con. I know that blue side didn't need to do much that game just because red side played into them, and Castro was like 3 items without having to fight anything, so that was really good for blue side. If red side's going to go with, red team is going to go more of a volatile matchup again, play more towards sides, they need to do it better, and they need to remind themselves how to achieve that. I know in amateur, it's really a prominent voice that says like, oh, this team sucks because they can only play team fighting, or this team sucks because where was I going with that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with your points.
Yeah. So if you think that team can only play one style, one dimensional, and like, oh, sorry, scaling was what I was going for. So only team fighting or scaling, but you're not asking yourself, how can I punish a team that only wants to play like that? Then there's a big issue in like your identity and how you want to improve at the game.
This is exactly why I used to draft this way for C9A. I think versus the finals versus no org, which is actually 5 Fires team. The one strat that we just kept using was just team fight scaling, because we knew in Academy teams were not good enough to execute split push team comps. Which is like, this game totally reminded me of that. It's just like, if the enemy team that's split pushing messes up like once on key timings, or they don't execute it very well, then blue side is just, or the side with the team fighting team comp that could just stack dragons and group S5 is eventually just gonna win. It's much easier to play that kind of way. But against like a very good team like a Chinese team that can play these kind of split push team comps very well, then it's gonna be really hard to get away with that. So
do you want to see different styles coming from each team next game, or do you want to see the same thing improved? Do you think these players are going to correct these mistakes like within this like short span of time? Because I know there's no coaches trying to help them out in between games to like try to refocus them on their win cons. So what are you looking forward to seeing next game?
I do want to see more of team comps like the red side again. Like, I'm pretty sure they did give this feedback to Sword. Like, he's a new Like he just roll swap, right? So
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
pretty sure Chippys is pretty proficient in these kind of games. So I'm pretty sure as long as they're giving each other that sort of feedback and getting on the same page, I'm pretty sure they can just do it better next time. I don't think
Yeah.
they should change the way they drafted. I love the way they drafted red side.
Mhm.
But I guess on blue side, I want to see more of I guess safer, like a safer blind pick top, and I don't want to see a Casio anymore. I like
Yeah.
just probably in 80K is a normal one. Because like just
Yeah.
having Casio and LeBlanc on the same team is already really hard.
Yeah, I agree. But I was really impressed with how Chippys played it mechanically early game. There was a lot of outplays, a lot of good reaction time on flash and riposte. So I want to see more of that volatile stuff top lane for sure. But yeah, better drafts and continuing with that talent showcase.
Yeah, and it was definitely interesting watching how Blue Side drafted. I know DarkWings definitely has a liking for his mages, and I've watched him carry games on the Cassiopeia, so kind of threw me through a loop when we saw Sketchdreams actually pick that up and play it. But we did get word that the players are ready to draft, so we're going to go ahead and transition into the draft screen, and I'll let you two do your thing.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Draft start already?
Let me check. Yep, they first banned Yumi, so we're off to a good start.
Fantastic.
Do you have the link?
This game is looking promising already. Yeah, I got it.
All right, cool.
So,
do we know who's blue, by the way?
I was just gonna ask that.
Oh, okay.
Gamsu is red. Okay.
Yeah, so Gamsu's red side this time. Do you think they're gonna give counter to top or mid? Or support, maybe?
I think it really depends. It's hard to tell unless you actually see their 1, 2, 3 first. So looks like blue side is opting into the Leona first pick, which is always safe.
Yeah.
I feel like the meta right now, it really favors red side because you can really utilize those counter picks. Whereas on blue side, you just see a LeBlanc. I mean, you see a Leona first pick. So then it's just because they don't want to show anything yet, right? They don't want to show their hand.
Yeah.
But it's not like OP or anything. So, you know what? Thinking about that Casio pick is starting to make more sense to me because they don't want to show anything. So that Casio doesn't show anything, but then you end up with the Casio bot.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely better flex.
I see their thought process there, so it comes. It makes sense to me now. I respect that.
Yeah. I like TF on red side. I also like the Rel into the Leona matchup. They also don't have to show that much when left side first picks Leona. We saw that in TL at Worlds today, actually. They first picked Leo. I don't remember the rest of their draft, but I do remember the first pick Leo. The answers are good though. Kiana's still super OP. And then, I mean, we saw Mad Lions pop off on it today. Elioya just 1v9 with the help of his bot too, of course. And then Rel into Leo's also good for Rel. So far it's looking good for red side. Obviously, there's not enough info to go off of, but I like how this is going already.
You like how this is going for the blue side?
For red side, for both teams, but more for red side because I like those matchups. I like the Rel into Leo. I want to see what they pair it up with, and I like the just Kiana. I think Kiana is definitely more impactful than Talon.
Okay, let's see. Strompest plays Triss, right?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, that's a flex. It's a good flex. It's good.
It could be a flex. Yeah.
I think flex picks are, if you're able to find champions that, if you share a similar champ pool with other roles, I think looking for flexes on blue side is always a safe bet.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, blue side flexes, you can 1, 2, 3 flexes and
Draven.
would be
I guess
strong. Draven, okay.
They think it's Triss bot.
Yeah.
Which it still could be. But then,
yeah, I don't think Triss mid is that good.
Yeah, now you have a Triss mid.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay,
or you have a Triss bot that loses to the Draven, so it's kind of a trap, you know.
I'm like imagining their voice comms right now. It's
Can we reject?
it's Cody Sun and Strompest, right? They're both like,
Yeah.
Do you want Triss? Like, no, not really. Do you want Triss? Like, I could.
Yeah. I don't mind the Tristana, but I'd rather pick something else. Look off
I'm not
each
really
other.
familiar with how the Triss and Talon do together, but yeah, I think it's just Triss bot.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they want AP mid also. they're gonna have a lot of bursts if they put the Tristment. A lot of creative builds also you can have. Just like I was saying before, the Shield Bow LDR or the Kraken BT into like Witsend or Gwinsu is pretty interesting on Trist. If you have it like in a solo lane as well. I like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this... I'm not too sure, but like I remember having King, my AD carry, play against a Tristana, and I remember what he said was lane phase is very hard for Trist, but like once if Trist is in the position where she's in a team fighting situation or she scales, then Trist definitely wins in that. Basically, Trist just scales a lot harder than Draven, but I guess it just depends on how well he can play the Draven and how much value they can get in the early game.
Yeah, I mean he has a lot of space to auto attack the Draven this game. He has Rel and Syndra, and then he has the Kiana R. So if Kiana R lands anywhere near river or walls, Draven's gonna have a great time, especially with the Rel combo, the Syndra. Just buying all that space for Draven is really important. Because if you're picking Draven, Kalista, and you can't auto attack, again, we saw Ruler today not being able to play his champion because of Wukong. It's really hard to execute these champs. You need a strong lead and you need a lot of space to auto attack. And so far they have that. They just need to control the early game.
Well, there's another champion for you that Draven can auto attack.
yeah. I mean they're giving into it.
All right, what is the blind pick here?
Let's see.
There are no top lane bans, so you are straight blinding Chippys.
Okay, blinds Camille.
What do you think he's gonna pick here?
Into the Camille? I think he's gonna pick a counter.
Renekton?
I think I don't want him to pick Set again. Renekton looks pretty good here actually, really juicy pick.
Actually,
I hope he doesn't pick Gnar. Yeah, it is, but I don't want to see the same champ twice.
That's true. That's true.
It's more interesting to see difference. But yeah, definitely Set this game is really, really strong. It beats Silas, beats Camille. He went for Shen. Okay, so just health straight. It's basically a Draven comp. Yeah, it's really good.
Shen is also very good this game.
Yeah.
I like
it's good into Leona. It's, I mean, sure, it gives Silas Shen ulti, but it doesn't really matter. They have 4 melees into a Shen, into a Rel, into a Syndra, Draven. Like, I think Red Side is complete Exodia here. I think they completely take over this game. I don't see how left side can have early agency to punish red side's comp and like deny any sort of snowball. I think red side takes this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, left side does have a lot of single target damage. They have burst, they have Leona, R, Talon, Silas, Camille. They can all jump on one person and delete them instantly. But for them to enter the space that red side champs have in their kit, it's really strong. They can't do it. And then even if they get to that space, then you have Shen W, denies a lot of damage, you have Syndra E, so it's going to be really hard. And the Kiana flanks are going to be really deadly too.
Yeah, from you see just from like the way draft panned out, they really utilize their 3rd pick and their 5th pick. Like Raven is really good here, and Shen is also really good here. Yeah, like I don't know what's gonna happen this game. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it looks telegraphed. That red side draft's really impressive, honestly, because some teams it's draft initially just what's it called, the reactionary draft. They pick stuff into the matchups, not thinking into the big picture, and then they end up with like a weird draft. But I think they really followed through on the first 3 picks, and they secured a playable draft for Draven Kiana. So. We'll see how that turns out. They could misplay a lot mechanically early, and then just like blue side takes over. Talon's like 10-0, and then you don't know what to do. But I don't think that's the case. They were pretty evenly matched mechanically, those two teams.
Crap. I don't think I got into the game.
Yeah, me neither. Can someone stream it for us? Oh, nice. Okay.
God bless.
Yeah, thank you. Are we off the desk, by the way? Oh, we're still live. Okay. We can go into like jungle pathing and then we can break. All right. What do you think Talon and Kiana should be doing? Because we saw last game how Kiana passed top, or no, who was it? They passed for the Fiora earlier on. I think that was the Kiana, right? Or were we against the Kiana?
TheOddOrange.
No, it was Talon. It was Talon.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Talon passed towards the Fiora early, and then Kiana was late to the play, and then Gamsu died. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So this time, it's not a volatile matchup, but you want Camille to get a lead. So I want to see Talon try to execute something like level 2 topside. And then I want to see Kiana do something bot really early, actually. Maybe like a full top quadrant clear into a bot level 3 dive or something like that. Because they can definitely punish. If Leona presses E on anything and Kiana's there, it's just a GG play for Draven. So let's see how they end up pathing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it definitely goes into the early game. I think this game might actually be more bot lane focused, I believe. But
so you think both junglers are gonna path bot?
I'm actually
they're gonna make something happen? Okay.
I'm actually not too sure.
Okay.
So like this jungle matchup, I'm actually not too familiar with this jungle matchup, so it's hard for me to say. Like, what do you think about this jungle matchup though? Like Kiana versus Talon, like just like strictly 1v1, like who clears faster?
I think Talon clears faster and healthier. I think Kiana is better at skirmishing because she has a setup. You know, you can get the root off with the frost, the glacial Q.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like less room for error for the Kiana side because you can land these abilities, especially when you have a Syndra and you're fighting towards her. So it's definitely easier for that side, but I think left side has more damage overall. So if they land their abilities, if they play better mechanically, left side can come out ahead in those skirmishes. And I think Camille just needs to wait for Divine to start fighting. Before that, you shouldn't really promote any volatility because Shen's going to be full build at Bramble Vest. So it's going to be hard to punish him. But early game, you can really punish him because he's going to start Q to get those trades off against Camille. Camille's still going to come out ahead, but he needs to start Q. And then if he doesn't take E level 2, Talon should punish that instantly. And they should look for a dive top, like a Silas TP maybe, or just like all your eggs in the Camille basket, like first 5 minutes, and then transition to bot completely. I think that's what left side should do.
Yeah, I can see that working. I think this game has definitely a lot more options for both sides, for sure. It's hard to like pinpoint exactly which both sides really want to do. But if I were in the game right now, I'd probably try to focus more on mid lane. Just like find timings for Leona or Rel to push in mid. Because I'm pretty sure if you isolate mid lane, that's exactly what Syndra wants.
Yeah.
So if Syndra is trying to crash wave mid, I think if blue side tries to find a timing for Syndra to try to catch that wave, I do think 3v3 mid and 3v3 at Dragon, or I mean 3v3 at Herald, is more favorable for blue side.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think this game is very 3v3 mid focused and 3v3 Herald focused. But you know, there's been a lot of bangers before that, so.
Yeah, for sure. And then if you have a winning 3v3 bot side and you're, promoting fighting in that area, and then Shen's level 6, Camille no TP, it always ends badly. All right.
And welcome back, everybody. We're here on to the Rift, game 2 of day 4 of the Amateur Arena presented by AOE Esports. Teams have taken a swap of sides. Team Cody Sun will be on your blue side to start us off. Team Gamsu on your red. I'm Grapes, joined here by DJ, and I'm just very excited to get back into this. As we saw from game 1, some very high-level gameplay, and probably going to expect a lot more of that here.
Okay, love what I'm seeing from Winter to start this game. He's run all the way down red side in this 5-point start. He's gotten an early ward in that bush, in the middle bush in bot lane. That is a common ward when you have double melee support matchups, because then whatever melee support can control the bush largely controls the wave for the first couple levels. That gets you level 2 advantage. That gets you advantage and control of the lane. So very common ward that you'll see placed in these kind of matchups, and like to see Winter doing that, because again, we got a Sketchdreams Draven Graves, and if you're going to pick Draven for someone like Sketch, you've got to support this pick. You've got to get him ahead, and you got to give him a chance to carry your team to victory.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see it. We saw Sketchdreams do really well last night on the Draven as well, and I know you were on the broadcast for that one, DJ, and it just looked very, very dominant in that regard. Taking a look at the jungles to start us off, will be both teams starting at the red side. TheOddOrange and his team will be pathing towards top, while Fanatiik is also going to be pathing towards the bottom lane. Now, I am worried, DJ, just a little bit, because as Fanatiik goes through this clear, the last camp that he has to clear to get to that level 4 is going to be that Gromp that he got executed to in game 1. So, just like, we got to keep our fingers crossed, hope that that doesn't happen again, I think.
Fanatiik, apparently not a frog fanatic in this one. What a story it would be if he died to Gromp twice and still won both games, Graves. That would be something.
We got to just get like a close-up on Fanatiik taking the Gromp just to make sure. And it's an interesting, different deviation in pathing, actually, as he looks like he's going to be heading over to that Gromp as his third camp, going from that red Raptors Gromp. We've seen this path a lot during Worlds. If just for junglers who want to get up onto the map a little bit earlier, but now Fanatiik is starting up the Gromp. It is a little bit scary here. Not going to see if that happens yet, but now on the bottom side, level 2 hit for Sword and Cody first, and they're looking to go in onto the Zenith Blade for Sketchdreams. Ignite is ticking, but now here comes the axes again. Winter is getting low. Cody Sun has repopped the Halo Blades, looking to auto attack just a little bit more. Zenith Blade forward, rocket jump in, and Sketchdreams will fall, almost fall, sorry. First blood going over to Cody Sun. Fanatiik going to dash forward as the flash forward again from Sword will pick up a double for Cody Sun. Fanatiik just cleared it off that Gromp, and now going to try to clear off a little bit more. Going to dash in, pick up the kill onto Cody. A 2-for-2 overall, but nice early aggressive play coming out from Cody Sun and Sword. Love the agency.
Oh my Grace, there is so much to talk about here. So we saw Winter place that ward in the bush level 1, and it doesn't pay off. They don't get level 2 first. Instead, it's Cody Sun and Sword that get it. So they have a massive advantage in the fight in bottom lane. And despite what you should think, right, Sketch and Winter needs to run away. Well, we're waiting. They're waiting for Fanatiik, just like you mentioned. He's gone that red into Raptors, into Krugs. So they want him to show up, as Sword is now showing up to help Strompest push in this mid wave. I think DarkWings should be fine. So I'm gonna see that Zenith Blade go wide, and I'll continue to finish the points. I think he should be okay as this wave does get shoved in. But they see Fanatiik coming, so they wait for him to come. They both go down, but Fanatiik is able to clean up. And put. They're helping Strompest shove. Yeah, they're helping Strompest shove. They want DarkWings.
Cody's level 2. What is he? He's in the enemy wolves. And now he might get punished for this. Here comes Winter as well. No crash down just yet. Gonna use it onto the TheOddOrange, who just flies away over the wall. That had the potential to be a really, really scary play right there. Yeah,
okay. I apologize, Graves, because I didn't think anything was going to happen there. And then, as you mentioned, just more and more people kept showing up in a mid lane. It was like, oh, okay, I guess it's a full party. What initially just looked like the support Sword roaming up to help Strompest, who is low HP, push his wave in, ends up being a potential dive onto DarkWings at level 4 with a level 2 Tristana, and nobody ends up getting punished. We all walk away, but now the bottom lane Sketch is level 4.
Yeah, this is what happens. I mean, Cody just spent so much time up in the enemy jungle, did not get any time to pick up any XP, sitting now 15 CS down, and now about 1.5 levels too, as Sketchdreams has unlocked level 4. And after the early 2v2 coming out from the TSM bottom side here for Team Cody Sun, things are not looking as good here. Sketchdreams gonna crash in this wave. Here comes Fanatiik as well. Cody Sun still sitting at that level 2. They're gonna have to do something quickly. Winter gonna flash in, cancel the rocket jump as well. The track repel will seal the deal as Sketchdreams catches in onto an aggressive Cody Sun.
Oh my God, Graves' Sword is dead. I mean, he's absolutely dead. Even as he ticks 3, this is an easy kill.
Return. Winter does end up falling there. Nice usage there of that heavy crowd control, focusing the champion that took that tower aggro first. Sword goes 1 for 1, but still very, very good stuff coming out from Team Gamsu. Sketchdreams is still just going to be incredibly massive this game. 2-1 and 2 already.
Yeah, I mean, props to Sword for getting the 1v1, and it won't be the worst thing ever because we're 5:30 in, and Sketchdreams probably doesn't have that many stacks, but if I could get production to just show us the gold when you get a chance, I mean, what happened? This bottom lane was in the favor of Cody Sun and Sword after the level 1 and 2 play where they got 2 kills. Oh, hold on, DarkWings mid lane.
Gets stunned up. Is TheOddOrange gonna dash forward? Is Winter? Fanatiik gonna try to chase forward. One more Q will do it with the Iron Spike whip to boot, and Fanatiik will go down. Strompest also going to fall here. Really nice play coming out from Fanatiik all over the map here. Gonna just get some revenge after getting executed to that Gromp in that last game. Sorry, I keep bringing it back to that, but
I know you. I mean, well, we're gonna have to remind him too if he wins the
series. My memory so much.
If he wins the series and we get him on the interview board, you know what the first question is. But the big question that I have is for what's going on for Team Cody Sun, because this game has just gotten wildly out of control in like a minute and a half. Graves, it started so well in bottom side for them with the double kill. Then that play in mid lane has just thrown this all apart. Gamsu
gets the ultimatum. Chippys looking for the last precision protocol. Gonna flash for it. One more tower shot will take him down. Gamsu gets the trade in return, but Wave is just an even spot, so it doesn't look like Chippys got too much out of that one. But down to the bottom side, Cody once again being targeted here. Zenith played for open sword. Here comes TheOddOrange as well. Gonna use the Shadow Assault to get a little bit of extra movement speed. But Gamsu, who has just come back from the Death Realm, gonna issue that Stand United onto the Draven, and now Winter is the one going forward. Taunt's gonna land, and Sword, who's only level 3 still in this game, will fall. It just seems like they keep dying over and over again. 5 deaths down there in the bottom side for Team Cody.
I mean, it's an unmitigated disaster. They spend TheOddOrange's time trying to make an extra play, but they forget that Gamsu has ticked level 6 in the top lane. And just like, again, they were talking about in draft, it's so good for Draven. They go on, they think they've got the extra man. Just kidding. Here comes the Shen from top lane with the shield. They turn it around again. It's an extra kill. It's an early Ocean Drake for the enhanced laning. And it's a 2k gold. It's a 3k gold lead, Grapes, at 7 minutes 45 seconds. Again, after a positive start in the bot lane for Team Cody Sun, the weird play mid lane, that 5-man stack has just turned this all on its head. They are so far behind now, and Team Gamsu has the potential to just run away with this second game.
Yeah, things are going really well for Team Gamsu. A lot less of a closer matchup than we saw in that first one. And even though teams Cody Sun was the one who got the early advantage in game 1, Team Gamsu still ended up winning, and now just them gonna just win the early game and potentially just end the game here as well. Like, things are looking very, very good for them.
Yeah, and again, fortunately for the likes of Team Cody Sun, there just haven't been that many passive stacks. The adoration stacks for Sketchdreams, he's only 500 gold ahead of Cody Sun at this point, so not the worst in the world, but still, it's just an acceleration all across the map. I mean, look at the scores. 2-0-3 is Fanatiik. A 1-0-1 with a 20 CS lead is DarkWings. Like, this whole red side squad is massive for Team Gamsu, and they are going to be able to continue to make these kind of plays every time Gamsu has his ulti. They will be able to cover, they will be able to bring extra members, and they will be able to fight.
Sketchdreams and Winters have rotated up to the top side, which will give Fanatiik a very easy pressure around this Rift Herald. We'll be able to pick that up. And an interesting swap here, I would say. I think it was Team Gamsu that ended up initiating it, just going to allow Gamsu to soak as much XP and gold down to the bottom side and give Sketchdreams and Winter an easy lane.
Yeah, it's a nice rotation. They get the rotation first, and they catch Team Cody Sun unmatched. Basically, they don't have the bottom lanes matched. Sketch's lane is stronger than Team Cody Sun's is, so they use their power to secure that Rift Herald. They let Gamsu soak the extra XP on the far side, and now they have this Rift Herald to continue to try to accelerate as they set up a trap on a Cody Sun.
Let's see if it ends up going down. Cody and Sword have been the target for Team Gamsu all game long, all focused around Sketchdreams and Winter as well. Here comes Fanatiik, does have that supreme display of talent, gonna use it onto 2. Stand United as well coming in. Taunt only gonna hit Sword, but here come the teleports as well. Strompest has arrived, does have that Unleash power stolen away. Will be able to use it onto Winter, who will trade back in return, but the TheOddOrange is back onto the other side. Gonna take down Fanatiik, and now looks like Team Cody Sun will try to continue to go forward a little bit more. Sketchdreams going ham though. Will the axes land up going through? Sword forced to flash away. With that Aegis going forward again is the TheOddOrange. And Gamsu is just so tanky, scaling and just doing so much zone control to keep Sketchdreams alive. Sword is on the opposite side of the map, and it looks like DarkWings will end up punishing it. Very big win going over to Team Gamsu.
Yeah, and it looks good initially for Team Cody Sun as all 4 members on the top side recognize what's about to come. They see Fanatiik walk over the ward, and 4 members come to cover their bottom lane in Cody Sun and Sword. They initially repel with a 2-for-1, but eventually the power of Sketch's Draven is too much, and now they've got Chippys trapped.
Chippys gonna be have to be a bit chippy to get out of this one alive. There's the ultimatum. Hookshot has not been used because he's just stunned up for eternity, it seems. Knock up after taunt, after stun, after everything. And all of a sudden, it's Team Gamsu doubling up the kill score already. Much bloodier than we saw in game 1 for sure.
Oh yeah, 18 kills already, but most of them are from Team Gamsu. They push their lead out to 4K now, Grapes. This is absolutely massive at 11.5 minutes. They're going to get extra plates on this bottom side. They still have the Rift Herald. Fanatiik's likely just going to pop it, I think, for first turret. If he wants to, they can just clear this out and take the turret at will. So we'll see what the decision is. He's actually going to hold it, I think, at this point. We'll see if he pops it now, maybe?
You know, I don't mind it actually, Fan leaving that up, because, you know, if the gold does go over to there, it's going to go over to Gamsu, and it looks like they actually are going to get a good chunk of gold anyway. Here comes Chippys. Will they be able to stop the turret take? There comes that sweep, and yeah, it looks like Fanatiik will not be able to take this turret down alongside Gamsu, but maybe just wants to give it to some of the players who require just a bit more resources.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea, Grapes, right? It is definitely the greedier idea, but if it pays off, it will pay off big. The big question is, he's got less than a quarter of the cooldown left on that Rift House. He's going to have to pop it somewhere. You can see him hustling towards mid right now, where Sketchdreams is positioned. They're just going to try to get the platings and continue to accelerate their AD carry.
Speaking of AD carries, on the other side, we got Cody Sun and Sword, who struggled a little bit towards the early game. Interesting to note, though, Sword is only level 5 on this Leona, so definitely not in the greatest place right now. Jess has unlocked that Solar Flare. As this Rift Herald is hit towards this mid lane, they're going to just try to funnel as much gold into Sketch as they can. And still, again, the tower still does not go down. So got almost all the plays taken on a bunch of sides, but now gotta take a look top lane. DarkWings gonna get hit up by the Solar Flare, but Gamsu coming through with that Stand United, gonna taunt up. Sword barely not under the tower, but it might not even matter. DarkWings with one more sphere will finish off the kill. Spurge will be the one with the final shot, and Fanatiik on the other side takes down the TheOddOrange as well. Team Gamsu is just running all over.
Oh, Team Gamsu is everywhere. This is one of those games when you are down. Oh, Strompest, run, buddy, run.
Oh, will he be able to get away? Strompest has not done too much in this game. I feel like it's been really hard with how the rest of the team has ended up being going here. Chippys, though, going to try to find a pick onto DarkWings. Shot forward, but here comes the Whirling Death as well. The ultimatum does a lot of damage. Finally get the shutdown. Will be a trade in return. The Fanatiik. Oh, Fanatiik doesn't give the kill over. I thought he was gonna wait just for a little bit for Sketchdreams to cash in, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Gold on a Kiana is still very well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, gold on Kiana, gold on Sketchdreams, gold on Gamsu. Heck, he's already got his mythic item completed in this game. Graves, he's 5-1-0 because he's everywhere, and Team Gamsu is everywhere. This is what it feels like to play against a global composition when you're behind. Sword wants to make a play on the top side. They think they have DarkWings caught out, and how many times this game already have we seen them make that play, only to regret it the second the shield shows up from the Stand United, and you just know their end comms like, oh no, here he comes. Here we go again. Gamsu shows up, he turns the play around, and it is Team Gamsu that continues to snowball this game forward.
Yeah, Gamsu, notable tank player back in his time in the LCS, notable tank player in the Overwatch League, and looks like not much has changed, doing a lot of work here on this Shen as well. Picking up that Sunfire, 5-1-0. And just absolutely helping his team dominate this game. They all about hit the 15-minute mark and already 22 kills. I mean, we were talking about how non-bloody the first game was, DJ, but I'm not complaining about this. Like, the more kills, the better, for sure.
Heck no, this has been awesome. It's just been a blitz from these two teams, right? Again, Team Gamsu has had most of the plays go in their favor, but it's not for lack of trying on the side of Team Cody Sun. They have definitely looked for plays. They've definitely made their attempts, and again, I think it's just been largely punished by the presence of this global in the Stand United. Any other composition, I think they're probably even higher on the kill score after some of these plays succeed.
Gamsu looking to get in onto Strompest. So much damage coming forward. Gonna heal up a little bit with the Kingslayer, trying to dash away here with that Abscond Abduct. But it just looks like Gamsu's continuing to chase forward. That is never a fun time if you're like a carry and you just get one shot essentially by a tank. Just feels so bad.
Yeah, poor Strompest. Again, the map has really fallen apart around him. The one play he was involved in topside did not go in their favor.
Watch Magna Storm coming out, only going to land onto Sword, but OddOrange has stolen away that Stand United alongside Strompest, looking to go forward here. But the huge thing down. Oh my goodness, Fanatiik is a madman taking down the OddOrange. Oh my goodness, so much damage coming out from this Kiana. Looks to try to make it more. Strompest going to go forward with the chains. They're going to try and lock up the Kiana as much as possible. But shield from Gamsu refuses to let anybody on his team fall. Strompest dies, and Gamsu just absolutely dominant on this Shen. 6-1-0 now. Yeah, wow, I have no words. This is a very good game coming out from them for sure.
Yeah, Team Gamsu is just styling on him. The damage from Fanatiik is he's 4-1-6 with the Gore Drinker Grapes. You can see how much damage he does with that supreme display of talent, and Gamsu just dominating proceedings again. It looks like Fanatiik's in trouble, but the White Knight of Gamsu shows up with a massive shield to keep his jungler alive. And again, this is why it feels so bad when you are down. You just don't have the damage. You're already cutting through one health bar, then you got to cut through the shield or wait until it goes down. You just don't have the time. You don't have the stats, and that's why it continues to get worse and worse for Team Cody Sun.
Yeah, and it just really doesn't seem like they have any damage to take down anybody on this team. Combined with that Shen ult just makes a tough problem even harder, and they're going to have to try and find some way to get back. One of them might be with Chippys down here in the side lane. Helping him is the rest of his team to take down this tower, and got to try to get the gold as much as possible.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play from Team Cody Sun, right? They need to make the most of the opportunities that they get, and that's often, sacrificing an objective or a turret somewhere to force one of your own. Get any kind of gold in your back pocket. So all of his teammates make sure to support him. They hold hands. They go take that bottom lane turret on the tempo from the base timer that came through from Team Gamsu. Now they'll try to work on getting a pick, right? Get a shutdown. There's a lot of gold standing on the members of the enemy squad. So get one of those. Protect your camps, get any gold you can funnel in, and then wait for your moment on 2 items or so to fight around an objective. That's really how you have to approach this game.
Strompest and the OddOrange looking to try and take down Gamsu. I mean, yeah, it might take a while. Yeah, here we go. So there's a solar flare. Teleport gonna come forward as well from DarkWings. They finally end up taking him down, and now DarkWings is stuck in a tough situation. Does get the orb to take down the OddOrange. Gonna flash away for the chains as well. Cody Sun coming in to join the party as well, but now Strompest is taken out of the fight. DarkWings gonna try and trade one back, but not gonna end up happening. There comes Cody coming with the explosive shot. Pick up a kill. Nice 2-for-1 extended trade coming out from Team Cody Sun, but you gotta look at the mid lane. You're gonna lose your base, guys.
Oh, you're certainly going to lose your base if you are Team Cody Sun. I still like the play, Grapes, right? These are the kind of decisions you need to make when you are in a 7K gold deficit at 19 minutes. You don't have a lot of options. You don't really get to decide what happens around the map. So getting 2 kills and 2 shutdowns is probably about the best you can do. Yes, you lose 2 mid lane turrets for it. These are prices that must be paid when you are this far down to funnel that gold into your important members and try to get yourself to a state where you can actually take a semi-even fight.
Yeah, and they do get a lot of gold there into Cody Sun. Does end up picking up a Last Whisper upon the back, but not going to be able to get there in time for this 3rd dragon. It's going to be another Cloud Soul, so looks like the game just hates us today, DJ, and will be Team Gamsu picking it up.
Yeah, not the most fun soul. I think it's actually fairly enjoyable for a couple more Cloud Drakes for Team Gamsu, right? If you can get the ultimate CD on Gamsu's Stand United down even a little bit further, it just makes for that much quicker map plays for the likes of their squad. But really what's important for them is just the closeout, right? The setup on their objectives. And speaking of setup, Fanatiik's trying to cover.
It looks like you can't ult you can't have the Shen ult if he's the one you're targeting here. Gonna get stunned up here with the Shadow Assault. Chippys looking to go forward. Finally gets the big shield on the Fanatiik, but Gamsu will end up falling in return. Sketchdreams now the target here. Strompest will go forward with the Kingslayer. Dashing forward is Fanatiik, maybe trying to get something in return. Here comes Winter. Massive Magnet Storm coming out from the former Resolve support. Strompest gonna try to trade one back, but Sketchdreams cashes in with a huge kill onto the Silas. One more will do it there. Goes Chippys, double kill coming up to Fanatiik. Gonna try to make it more. There comes Cody Sun, gonna try to drop a jump in to take down the enemy AD carry. Does end up taking down Sketch, but it's a triple kill for Fanatiik as he just ends up falling. OddOrange, the only one left on his team to try and salvage this game here for Team Cody Sun.
What an absolute fracas underneath the top tier 1 turret as it falls down. Grapes, again, I like the angle from Team Cody Sun. I think the call is intelligent. It's that classic conundrum. You know, if we're getting beat by the Stand United, let's go to the Stand United. Take the global out of the game.
Yeah, they just,
okay, well, hold on here.
They just keep on in the fight here. Strompest going to go forward as well as OddOrange going for the Shadow Assault. Strompest steals away the Magnet Storm, going to try to lock up DarkWings, gets him with the Everfrost, going to try to look for some more, but he's just getting zoned out. He'll just die. Doesn't even get to touch DarkWings, and this whole engage. Chippys finally will, but Gamsu has joined the fight as well. 2 tanks going up against some of the heavy damage dealers here for Team Cody Sun. There's the ultimatum going in onto Winter. Will Chippys be able to finish it off? Maybe not. Supreme display of talent picks up the kill, and now Gamsu's dashing forward as well, trying to zone out the rest of Team Cody Sun. Whirling Death barely misses the OddOrange, but it looks like Gamsu is going to try to go for some more. Flash away is Sword. It looks like he'll get out, but another big turn coming to Team Gamsu as they have their eyes set on Baron Nashor.
They're just throwing everything they have, all their cards on the table in this top lane, Graves. First, it's that skirmish under the turret. Now it continues, but again, they're so far behind, and as the respawns come through, Team Gamsu gets the kills they need. They will take the Baron, and now they are set up to finish up this game with an inhibitor already down in mid and some blinking turrets in the side lanes as well.
Already a massive gold lead here for Team Gamsu, about 7,000 gold ahead as they just take down the Baron at 22 minutes. You can see it in the items, DJ. 3 on Fanatiik, to say the least. Goredrinker, Yomu's, and that Umbral Glaive as well. The almost 3 completed for Sketchdreams, 2.5 for DarkWings, 2.5 as well for Gamsu. Things are going really well. I like the Deadman's Plate buy actually from Winter. It's allowed some more, even more engaged. And speaking of engaged, here comes Fanatiik in onto the OddOrange. Big chunk of damage from the Shadow Assault. It's the Shen on the other team. It's a billion extra HP that the OddOrange will not be able to penetrate. Gamsu helps out his teammate in picking up a kill.
Gamsu, that was not an honorable duel, my friend. Come on, that's the jungler, the 2 assassin junglers fighting it out. You gotta leave that one alone. Let the better assassin win. That was so mean.
Yeah, I mean, never a fair fight when you got a Shen on your team, and looks like he's not too worried about the honor, more worried about winning this game and winning this set of in-houses here for his team, and gonna try and go forward onto Chippys again. Gamsu is a really interesting player that just has a whole lot of stuff going for him. You know, formerly Overwatch, formerly in the LCS as well, making a return here, and you don't normally see this from a player like this, but he really is putting in a lot of effort in some of these in-houses, really trying to get to that higher level.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see the winner of Proving Grounds continue to try to improve, recognizing that everyone has room to grow, that the amateur scene has room to grow. Even if you are on the top, you got to keep yourself sharp. You got to be ready for 2022 when these players will be on new rosters.
Sword looking for the fight. Teleporting in is Gamsu, so the rest of Team Cody will have to back away. This top lane inhibitor tower is not long for this world, and neither is the inhib in its place. Looks like the rest of the team will end up taking that down, as looks like Team Cody will focus over to this wave in the mid lane, as the second inhibitor in the mid lane has ended up spawning here. Supreme display of talent from Strompest will only land on the Sketchdreams, but a 2-man Magnet Storm coming in from Winter is going to seal the deal for this fight and maybe for this game. 2 kills already for Fanatiik and the rest of his team. DarkWings going to finish it off with 1 final sphere on to the other player here. Things are going very well for them. They end up picking up this inhibitor. Cody Sun still alive here alongside Strompest and the OddOrange. Going to have to try and keep this team alive. teleport coming in from DarkWings. They want to close this game out now. Baron minions are continuing to push in, and Fanatiik's going for the aggressive play onto the OddOrange. Cody Sun is left on hit, but not for long, as it looks like Gamsu will just finish the game by himself. Another 2,000 health shield onto Fanatiik, just to show off, I guess, a little bit more. There goes Strompest, taunted up, taken down by Gamsu for his 8th kill of the game, and the minions will do the work to finish off game 2, as Team Gamsu will win their 2nd in a row.
Team Gamsu gonna secure themselves the set, Grapes, and in much more convincing fashion. This one went downhill very quickly for Team Cody Sun. Again, after they got ahead in the earliest portion of the game, one misstep, one misplay against the Sketchdreams Draven, against this composition from Team Gamsu, and that was all it took. After that, Gamsu and Fanatiik felt like they were at every single play, every single time to answer the OddOrange and the rest of Team Cody Sun, and they will absolutely stomp them in game 2.
And when you look at their team composition, they got so many really explosive champions on their team. You have Kiana, Syndra, and Draven. Even like the Rel has some nutty engages, but you'd never expect the Shen to be like the main champion that we're talking about here. But Gamsu was just so crazy in that game, and it really allowed for the rest of his team to carry.
Yeah, it certainly did, right? Those shields, again, were on time every single time. Sort of like Coach Koso said in the draft, right? You're the Shen, you're a full build when that Bramble Vest comes through, but he was so accelerated that really the shields were just completely unmanageable on the other side. There was just never the damage to deal with the shields that were coming in from the Stand United. So definitely a very, very huge facilitating performance from Gamsu in this game number 2, enabling his stars of the rest of his team to shine. And shine they did, and it only takes one more to get what I think would be our first 3-0 sweep of the amateur arena.
Yeah, sorry. I just don't know where to put my arms. There's just like grapes all over. I just feel like really out of place. But either way, Team Gamsu takes 2 of the first games here in the amateur arena. There's one more to play, and just for bragging rights or something. Make sure if Team Gamsu wins, they can talk about how much they swept them. If Team Cody Sun wins, at least they're not super embarrassed. We're gonna take a look. Go back to the analyst desk, because Riley and the rest of the gang will break down the action in that game 2.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of a world that we defy. A soul reign of the few who rise up high. And we all fight at the last Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding. Only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of a world that we defy. A soul reign of the few who rise up high. And we all fight at the
Wow. What a game two. I think game two was probably a little bit more reflective of some of the gameplay that we were seeing last night. A little bit more high takedown count. We saw Brady back on the Draven, and that was really impressive. I mean, right from the get-go, they had that dive, level 4 versus level 2, 3 versus 2, right? They had a lot of numbers advantages there. Went quick and easy for them, and then the rest of the game, we see the side of Team Cody Sun trying to make plays, and Shen's always right there, or we have Winter on Rel, as well as Fanatiik right by his side. So it just seemed like Team Cody Sun couldn't find an opportunity to get in there and make a play. But I want to hand it over to Westerice and Koso now, and let them break down the game and what we saw a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess just starting from drafts, it's just like I guess I have a hard time like trying to think about like how blue side wants to play their team comp, because like a lot of decisions you make in a game pretty much relies on what champions you have and your individual win condition, your team win condition, what you actually want to do. So looking at the draft, it's just the blue side, they have 3 losing lanes, and I guess the best thing that you can hope for is scale with the Tristana, because you can outrange at that point in the game. But it's just like it just snowballed way too hard from the bot 2v2 and Kiana just like being there in the vicinity at level 3, and then the mid 3v3, and then the God, I hope this Shen dive works play, which is like their best play, right? Like I think they did a great job by doing that because they realized they had to do something, so I respect them a lot. But if that doesn't work, it's just, well, that's like when you just hit the pause and you're just like, okay, GG, go next, But I respect them for trying that play, like all things considered.
Yeah, the game looked pretty doomed after that bot play. They went over aggro on the 2v2. I mean, it could work if you're doing a bot quadrant clear on Talon into bot to protect that play. But if you're picking up the scraps after like trying to hold or trying to crash that third wave that you were talking about that couldn't crash as Talon while you're holding for your bot, and then you're going back into your top side after a failed bot 2v2, then you're not going to get the help that you need. Then Kiana was there to re-gank and repunish in between the 2 towers, and it worked, right? So Draven and Rel were completely ahead. Kiana had full control of her bot side of the map, and then they started punishing mid top, which is where the mid fight erupted. And I think they didn't commit hard enough into trying to kill the Syndra at least, because Leona pressed E on Syndra, and then Silas on Strompest on Silas flashed out or E'd out, so they didn't have they weren't on the same page basically. And you were saying that the 3v3 mid on blue side would have been winning, and they could translate that into bot. they weren't able to get to that point where making a play bot was viable because Shen was already 6, and at 7 minutes, like I said in pregame, if you're making a bot play and you don't have control of topside, Shen presses R and the play is GG. So
yeah, exactly. And they were just constantly finding themselves in those kind of situations where they want to make a play somewhere, and then they're like, "Does Shen have ult?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, okay.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's way easier to trade sides and just like completely try to take over the Shen side because he can't ult on himself, right? And you're gonna have to dedicate resources to either helping the Shen or completely also managing the trade. So either or, you're making the enemy team make a decision rather than just like going with the flow and winning straight out. And they weren't able to force that kind of decision making on the other side of the map. And in amateur, it's really important to force team to make decisions because that's where most of the mistakes come from.
Yeah, I agree with your point. I do want to kind of go back to like what Cody Sun did at level 2. He all in their bot lane. I respect him a lot for that play because like you do have 3 losing lanes, and he wanted to just blow the game open early. So I understand what he was trying to go for. Like he did get the kill, and then if they didn't flash for that extra kill, if they just pushed the wave instead, we would have been looking at a much different game, right? But I think the thing that they didn't account for was that Qiyana was doing a path that gives her the fastest level 3. Like they knew she started topside, and they knew that she was pathing bot. So if they just took that into account, I feel like they would have played that lane phase so much differently. So like if they were to play the same game again, make that same play, I think it would work. I mean, obviously the right side won't give them that angle again, right? But
yeah, for sure.
It's just like I do get the idea what Cody Sun was going for. So like credits to him for trying something, considering we have 3 losing lanes. But then again, it didn't work out. You go mid 3v3, you lose that too, and then when you go bot, stacking wave, and then everything just went wrong for blue side. So
yeah, yeah. When you have 3 losing lanes, everything has to go perfect and beyond to like get any sort of edge. And when Cody Sun made that play bot in 2v2, he flashed backwards and Leona was going forward, so he didn't get that angle on like killing Draven fast so they can back out. And they put them in a precarious spot where just Qiyana picked up 2 kills, or like Draven got the kill on their tower, and then Qiyana picked up the other kill, and
everything.
Yeah. It's not good.
Qiyana got like 1k up at like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. And she was on her side of the map. She had her bot side camps.
Yeah, it was
huge. Yeah.
I think like what I really want to look for in this last game is I think blue side has been hard to draft. Like you really need a champion where you can flex. So like the first game we saw the Cassio, right? Like they were flexing Cassio. And then this game you're flexing the Tristana. So I want to give credits for them for like trying something different because blue side right now is really hard to draft. And red side is just like it's very easy. Or you do get the edge because you get the 3P and the 5P to counterpick, set yourself in a better position. Hence the three winning lanes. But so like whoever is blue side this next game, I'm really looking forward to how they adapt in this last game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you guys are absolutely right. Game 2 was interesting to say the least, kind of a doomsday situation, but let's see if the boys can turn it around and how things unfold. Game 3, we're gonna roll into draft next.
All right, Lucian first ban, Qiyana ban.
Do you think they're gonna leave Yuumi open this time? Because they first banned it last time. They did Yuumi LB, so this time is Lucian LB.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
possibility.
See. Hope not. We'll see. We'll save that for Worlds. There's gonna be a lot of Yuumi first picks and stuff like that, or like 1-2 on red side.
Dang, I want to see TheOddOrange Lee Sin actually. We didn't get a chance for that. But it's like from the ban, which is understandable.
It's banned, yeah, for sure. Okay, Yuumi comes through, so the ban is there. Unlucky. What do you want to see on blue side first pick? Do you want to see the support again to not give out any information, or do you want to see a power pick that you want to draft around? like the Rise 1 piece, for
Ideally-
example, like last split.
Ideally, on blue side, you use your bans in a way where you can make that first pick valuable. You know, like you can ban LeBlanc counters and then first pick up LeBlanc. That's something that you could do.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure what this does. Oh, there's the MF. Oh, right side ban Jarvan, so you get a free MF angle there.
Yeah, they ban Jarvan and then left side ban Lucian also. So MF is a really good pick here. That's a good spot. So we have Gamsu on the left side now, right? The 2-0 team is on the left side.
Gamsu is on the blue side, it seems.
Yeah, yep. Okay. So, I mean, Strompest gets his Rise, so that's the angle that, you know, he'd be looking for sure. And then you get the Zinja, which is a prominent pick since you know, a couple of patches ago. All split, pretty much.
If I was the coach here for blue side, I'd say, what beats Rise Zinja mid 2v2?
Malzahar.
There you go. Ooh.
Oh, is that? Okay, spicy pick.
Is that lock-in, I see?
Interesting.
Okay, spicy. Very spicy.
Wow, insta-lock into the Gragas into the Zinja Rise. Gragas Zed.
What is on my screen right now? Gragas Zed. Holy crap, we're in season 3?
Yeah, I mean, you said you wanted to see flex. This is actually jungle mid flex Zed.
Right.
It's Gragas support mid flex jungle also. So, and top, right? So you get a quad flex Gragas and you get a double flex Zed. Pretty good from blue side.
Okay. Ezreal 3P. I think Ezreal is like one of the safest staple counter pick to Ezreal.
Yeah, into MF, yeah, it's the classic. I haven't seen it do that well when they start tier into the MF longsword with a support winning matchup for MF, so we'll see how that turns out. Support's really important in that lane. And obviously, if you have a winning matchup, like let's say you have Leona with the Ezreal, you want to start longsword to capitalize.
Okay, it looks like blue side is making very good adaptations here. They're actually banning top laners this time, so that you can safely blind a top laner on blue. Because red side is like almost always kind of pick top.
Yeah. And if you're playing a playmaker like LB, Rise, TF, you know, you want to pick towards that top counter so that mid is also enabled to play towards you.
Well, I think bot lane's gonna get pushed already, so I think mid TB2 is gonna look a lot more promising.
Oh, okay.
Zyra.
That's really nice. Really good pick there. I haven't seen Zara in maybe 2 years, probably. So, even in solo queue, I don't see it anymore.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I know my support player Isles really likes Zyra.
Yeah.
Not into Leona though, so I'm kind of curious how this is gonna pan out.
Yeah, you either int or you snowball on that champion. And more often than not, you see it go like 0 and 4 early game. But with MF, early power into an Ezreal, I think they can definitely punish the Leona.
Yeah. I guess what they're going for is... So like, on Gamsu's team, Zyra is like is a lane bully, and she wants to stay in that bot lane. Like, she can't roam like Leona can. So what I think... So Yuumi... So Zyra is like playing the same role as Yuumi in a sense where MF and Zyra just wants to poke Ezreal and then eventually dive him. So in a strict 2v2, I'm pretty sure Gamsu side wins. So they're just pulling more attention onto the bot side, is what it looks like is their draft strategy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think. Also, I think it's like level 6. I think they're really strong into the Zinja, Leona, Silas. They're drafting melee into the Zyra, which Zyra thrives against. She's gonna have Leandres as well, probably. I don't think she goes Ludens this game. You have the Kennen also for top side. I think Kennen probably takes on Silas early game. Like, he's gonna have the agency in that top lane. Kennen's really powerful in isolation.
I think Kennen's a great pick here.
Yeah. So if you can isolate winning top matchup and focus on what you were saying to punish bot, I think it can go really well for red draft. And Zed's really good level 6 for dives. So if they set that up and start snowballing on the bot dives, it's going to be really good looks for blue team.
I really like the way blue side drafted this game. They forced the right side to react to them, which is pretty cool. I don't really know the top matchup, but how I imagine it would be like is kind of would start like longsword or something and just poke Silas out of lane. Oh wait, it could actually be Rise.
Longsword? Wait, you mean the Kennen starting longsword? Longsword refill, sell it?
Yeah, like you just start longsword,
Yeah.
get as much value, just like poke the Silas, force his TP early, sell it later for, you know, some AP. It's something that you can do. I mean, I don't think you should do that against Rise, but
I think you can. I think Rise doesn't have any armor early game. Not as much as Silas, at least. He's pretty weak. And if you can double down and take Airy as well, Airy Scorch, and go like Longsword Refill, if you're playing to that like top dominant, you know, I want to be alone, guys, leave me on island, focus on bot, it can work really well. But on the opposite side, you have Rise and Zhao, which are two really good, you know, they work well with each other, they have each other set up to work with, against a melee mid, which is probably going to be Gragas, right? Gragas mid. Gragas needs to like save E pretty much. If he presses E to like try to clear the wave and Rise is in range to press W or flash W, he can see some pretty negative score lines for himself.
I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with some of these matchups, so I'm just very curious on how it pans out.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it's just like this is gonna be another interesting game to watch, assuming the game is not over at 2 minutes. But
yeah, let's see if they're trolling us. I don't know if Zed wants to mid here. I think it's just better jungle, no? Gragas jungle?
I think it's that jungle because Gragas will just get permanent invaded on if that's jungle.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would want that. Plus you get like double AP topside instead of just having like a better spread by having like 2 APs mid top and then AD jungle. I don't know. We'll see.
Having double AP top mid or jungle is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is that jungle. Gragas mid.
We'll see if they swap it back, because right now it looks like a Gragas jungle in terms of like how they picked it. We'll see. I'm watching the Discord version.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in chat select right now.
Maybe maybe Fanatiik is just too big brain and we don't know what he's doing, but he does. Yeah, that's why like I'm very scared of someone blocking in like Teemo jungle. I'm just like, well, that sounds very bad on paper, but maybe he knows something that I don't, you know?
Yeah, they actually picked who was it? Was it Bugax? He played Teemo top in their I don't know if it was their finals game, but he picked Teemo top, and that was really interesting. And then they ended up winning the game. That was like the first time I think I saw a Teemo in competitive.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll surprise us.
Yeah, he popped off at Worlds too. He had like a 13-2 NAR performance. Interesting. I mean, it still looks like a Gragas jungle. We'll see when they load in, but it does look like it.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I would have been more excited if it was that jungle, but no, you'd have at least better setup. But they could definitely go like mid to bot and do the same thing, but like and top is still gonna be on island, so like the damage spread doesn't matter that much. But I think Zed is better in jungle right now.
Yeah.
Than Gragas. Yeah.
Zyra.
Yeah. You think she goes electrocute or aftershock maybe against Zinjao Leo?
I'm actually not too sure. I'd probably go Airy because you can proc it so often, or comment even.
Yeah, I prefer Airy in this lane.
Huh.
You can go Airy, MF can go Comet. You can just poke them out easily and then dive angles.
You brought up Aftershock. That's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, because they used to do that. I used to have a Zyra player on my team a long time ago, Libero, Korean guy. Shout out Jeong Lee. Yeah, he used to play Zyra a lot, Thresh, and he would go Aftershock on Zyra.
Okay. Actually, that would
against
make a lot
like
of
engage
sense.
stuff. Yeah.
Because you're already winning, right? Like you can win the lane without any keystone at all.
Yeah.
So maybe the Aftershock does provide that survivability when you're gonna gank or something like that.
Yeah, you have triple melee, and your damage is insane anyways when you get Leandries, and you have 3 melees fighting into you, diving into you, like Leo's in Silas. So you press R, you land your E hopefully, and you have Aftershock to survive a little bit more, and then you have your Hourglass, or your stopwatch at that point, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Actually, now that you say that, Aftershock does sound the best.
Yeah, alright, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Gragas probably going Predator, right? If it was mid, maybe it would go like Comet to like Rise Out or Phase Rush. Or maybe he's going for like the double electrocute. I haven't seen like electrocute on Gragas ever, but it could be an angle.
I do need I think you need
Cellbook? What do you think?
Wow, I have the biggest brain fart right now. What's the...
Are you talking about
Oh.
Keystone?
Yeah, the Keystone. It's like 3 procs and you move fast.
Phase rush. Yeah.
Phase rush.
In jungle,
sorry.
you take that in jungle over Predator? Because you move fast just by pressing
I think you
boots.
need it to survive versus Zinzhao.
Oh, okay,
because,
yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah.
If he invades you, or like a 2v2 or a 3v3, if you're not able to run away from him, you're just gonna get slapped. So I think it's more of a survivability thing.
Yeah.
But I think Predator does sound good if you're able to survive that anyways. Like,
Yeah, it really depends
sure,
on mid
Gragas needs
though.
Predator. Like, Predator is definitely the best for Gragas, but I think you just need Phase Rush to survive. But I might be wrong. This is just like based off of past meta opinion. But maybe the matchup has changed in a way where Gragas does win. Who knows? But I think
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
something
I doubt it. Oh, wait, it is that jungle. We got trolled by the champ select order.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Wow, everything we were just talking about was just completely useless.
negated, yeah. All right, so I mean, we were right. Okay, so that's
I like
cool.
the theory crafting that we were doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's promoting intelligent conversations on something that didn't really end up mattering, but here we are. All right. Good luck, teams.
Oh, hello.
Live, my microphone disconnected. But I think we're good. Welcome.
He's back.
Oh, hello.
He's back. We got him.
Literally worst case scenario. Our producer Dom was just like, okay, we're ready to go live. 3, 2, 1. On 1, the cable connecting to my microphone disconnected. So I was just like, I can't say anything because
Rapes isn't used to the extra pounds on that costume, ladies and gentlemen.
I literally think that one of the things might have like hit it and disconnected. Either way, we're here. You can hear me, everybody. So yeah, game 3 of the amateur arena between Team Gamsu and Team Chippys. Once again, we're back on the original sides. Gamsu on the blue side, Cody Sun on the red side. And headed to this game 3, look, DJ, Cody Sun's team definitely has something to prove here. They're down 0-2 in this set of games. Not really a series, but, you know, getting a win definitely would feel pretty good.
Yeah, it certainly would. You don't want to be the first team in amateur arena to get 3-0'd, and also would be a pretty maybe like not great introduction to Sword to the support role, right? I think it's the first time he's been streamed as a support. So, and this game in particular is going to be a big test for him and Cody Sun up against a bottom lane that has been picked to kill him. You've got Sketchdreams with the weird name there because he doesn't have a Misfortune skin on his main account, and he says it's unplayable without one. Meanwhile, Sword's going in.
See if that ends up happening here. Big chunk of damage here with this Arcade MF DJ. I'm pretty sure he's right. The skin definitely makes him do a whole lot more damage or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Just a totally unplayable Sketch, a big cosmetics guy. But as we were mentioning, right, Winter with this Zyra tech in match number 1, day 1 of Amateur Arena, he wanted to pick this, but the enemy team was wise to him. They banned it away twice from him in that set of 3. He's now finally going to get to show it off and try to bully Sword in his debut appearance on stream as a support. So again, big challenge for the TSM bottom lane. They need to step up to the challenge.
Oh, they're just getting punished so heavily. There's the E combined with the Make It Rain. And yeah, it doesn't look like Sword and Cody are going to have a very fun time. Already down about 6 CS as they're getting this third wave crashed into them under their tower. Just going to be a lot of mystic shots from very far away, I think, to start this one off.
Yep, of course, Ezreal going to be very, very safe. See a nice dash away from the root on the Zyra there for Cody Sun. They will try to deal with this as best as they can. You can see Fanatiik is pathing towards the bottom side to potentially help with this, but Chippys and Strompest actually.
Yeah.
Strompest?
Very, very early roam coming out from Strompest, getting that early push on the rise, range into melee matchup, getting up to the top side and forcing that early flash out of Gamsu, who has been very monumental in some of the wins for his team so far in this set of games. And so right now, things are going pretty well for Chippys on the top side, getting a nice hit up with the Abscondum Dunk. And here comes OddOrange and Strompest. See if they can do anything here onto Gamsu. The Lightning Rush is available, will be used, but we'll get rooted up there by the Rise. First blood going over to Chippys.
Absolutely gorgeous stuff from the side of Team Cody Sun as Strompest uses his range advantage, sacks some minions. Yes, he's 10 down in the lane, but he uses the tempo of the range advantage to walk up, blows flash, then connects with OddOrange for an early dive. That gives them now 2 winning lanes along with Strompest. Beautiful stuff from the former Supernova mid laner. And we saw this last night, Graves. So Strompest was down 0-2. He did not want to lose game 3, and it's looking like that's the case once again.
Now, Strompest has some really great performances towards the end of last night. And now on to this Rise pickup, one of his signature champions, the first 2 on the Silas and the TF. Typically not necessarily associated with him in terms of his champion pool, but now back on some comfort, wants to make sure they take on this win, going up against DarkWings on the other side on this Zed pick, a champion that, you know, he really rose up to popularity in solo queue a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's a favorite for DarkWings, and now he's largely going to have to prove why, right? It's the sacrifice of Gamsu is for the benefit of DarkWings, but he has to use that advantage now in CS that he's been given to make some kind of play. He does get a good base. He gets all the way back and gets that Dirk. Now he needs to make it pay. Otherwise, Strompest's early decision-making is just going to win out for the likes of Team Cody Sun.
Fanatiik running around this top side alongside Winter, who's making a bit of a roam after the recent reset. Looking to shove this wave in, make sure Chippys doesn't get the opportunity to freeze up against Gamsu. Now Winter making his way down to the mid lane, potentially trying to get a gank up onto Strompest, but the wave not in a great spot. So it's just Winter roaming around a lot, which is what we've been seeing a lot from supports in the recent weeks.
Yep, so roaming always super important. It is the meta of safe AD carries with range, a la Misfortune and Ezreal. Misfortune even has cleanse, so even safer. And we're gonna try to battle over these Raptors, but OddOrange is level 5. Fanatiik is gonna smite one and get away, I think.
That's a good effort. Always want to keep your enemy on your toes, and Fanatiik almost ending up getting a couple of steals over there. Maybe just to allow Winter to try and do something off of that. So Yeah, that's what's gonna happen there. They're still sending a lot of mid. Sword has joined the party in the mid lane as well. OddOrange are looking to join in the part, looking to try and get some sort of a flank. I don't know. Are we playing ARAM here, DJ? What's going on?
Now there's just big timers for these supports, right? Again, their AD carries are very safe, so they're just leaving them alone. I think Gamsu should be fine. Chippy's going to be out of rotations, but it is a big chunk. Might send Gamsu all the way back, and it will. It's nicely done by Chippys. But when you have these safe AD carries, right, to answer your question, Grapes, it just gives you large windows to, again, focus on mid lane, get that 3v3. But now we're in bot.
Oh, Sword, no, getting bullied here with the death mark. One more Q could secure the deal. The Ignite's ticking. Sword still ticking low. DarkWings going to just try to get somebody else instead. But here come the double teleports from the side of Team Cody Sun, looking to avenge their captain. Chippy and Strompest now forced to run under the tower as the Predator has been popped by Fanatiik. 4 members of Team Gamsu will get out safely after picking up that 1 kill.
And there you go. We were asking to see DarkWings make his advantage pay, and he does so with a little bit of help from the rest of his team. They go from that mid 3v3. He roams down on his level 6 timer. He picks up the kill on the enemy AD carry, and they even get both of the teleports from the Team Cody Sun solo laners. DarkWings does come up clutch and make his advantage from Strompest early roam pay.
Definitely so, and you see all this focus down to the bottom side. Sketchdreams and Winter have been absolutely phenomenal tonight on their bottom lane pickups. Cody Sun and Sword, obviously on Sword on this new role, gonna take a couple of games, to adjust a little bit, but definitely exciting to see some of the potential out of this bottom side. You saw Sword have some really great engages in some of the earlier games, and maybe the sign of more to come.
Yeah, I think it certainly is, right? You're always going to have some growing pains, and game number 2 just kind of got out of hand, right? They made the mistake of trying to take the extra kill, not shove in the wave, and were punished by Fanatiik. That one just a little more out of their control, I would say, or maybe just not anticipating his quick pathing. But things to learn, and that's what Amateur Arena is going to be for, right? You're going to get the best competition. Everyone going to be going their hardest as you get prepped. There's no better pressure cooker to get used to a new role. And as you mentioned, we've already seen plenty of intelligent plays from Team Cody Sun. It's just been that Team Gamsu has been kind of one step ahead throughout the night.
Yeah, it seems like we haven't seen Team Cody Sun at an advantageous position since around 10 minutes into that first game. Might try to turn the tides here, though, as Sword going forward with the Hex Slash. Winter here to match alongside DarkWings, now hiding in the bush themselves. See if they fall for the bait. DarkWings just going to use that shadow, get back to the wave, but now Winter's a bit left out to drive. Here comes the Realm Morph. 2 members coming in. Nice cast coming out from Fanatiik to zone him off. OddOrange will get rooted up and might be in a bit of trouble. There comes a Crescent Sweep, but DarkWings coming forward with the Death Mark as well. We're blocking some of the projectiles, but not enough. That's the final E coming through from DarkWings to secure the 2nd kill of the game.
Beautiful stuff from Team Gamsu and largely from Fanatiik, covering his support as Winter was in a bit of an awkward spot when Strompest hit that Realm Warp. The cask is beautiful for the disengage. OddOrange gets left behind and they clean him up for the extra kill. Once again, it's exactly what we've been mentioning, right? Just kind of that one step ahead, that one little portion of a play ahead. This time it's Fanatiik who is the one coming out ahead.
More supportal combat here as Winter and Sword fighting over some vision, but they've been everywhere other than bot, it seems, this game, DJ. They're right back to the mid lane to say, hey, how's it going? Okay, goodbye, bot blade. We're going back here. Zenith Blade misses from Sword. Might have been a better of a good thing as OddOrange will pick up the Rift Herald. Wait, no. What happened to the Rift? Oh, it went over to Fanatiik. Wow.
Yeah, Fanatiik had it. They were on it, actually. Found a nice little timer with the roam from Winter. They took it. They slink on out of the jungle, even though, once again, OddOrange, a better dueling jungler. They do find a nice timer. They come away with the objective again, and more of Team Gamsu understanding their timers, understanding their power. Now OddOrange is level 7 to level 6. He's probably going to go down.
There's a Predator body slam. OddOrange is so dead. My fellow fruit brethren falls, and now Chippys looking to try to avenge his jungler, going forward with that soul and slicing maelstrom. But now Gamsu says, that's my ultimate. I can do that way better. Gonna stun up 3. And now DarkWings coming over to the bottom side. Chippys is somehow still alive, making this work. Sword will fall. Chippys gets the chain, but right to his own doom as looks like Gamsu will pick it up with a final shuriken. Big close plays coming forward from Team Cody Sun. You see their proactiveness, but it's not working for them. Scores 5-1.
Oh Oh my God, Grapes, it's absolutely tilting if you are Team Cody Sun. Fanatiik has just had the run of things on the evening, and even on this Gragas pick that can get invaded that we haven't seen in a while, he's just outplaying every situation, surviving with a sliver of HP, multiple heals on the W to keep himself alive, and his teammates, they all have his back. They hunt down OddOrange, they survive the stolen Maelstrom, and they clean up Team Cody Sun yet again. They are already out to a 3.5K gold lead.
Yeah, things just went from bad to worse there, DJ. First, OddOrange didn't end up getting that Rift Herald, and then tried to go a little bit more aggressive and just got completely slaughtered in that engage there. It was so close though. There were so many low health bars on either side. If you know, one little thing went a little bit differently, could be looking at an entirely different game. But instead, it's much of what we've seen the entire night. Team Gamsu absolutely dominating over Team Cody Sun.
Yeah, it really is. And the one interesting part of this game, Grapes, is the difference between the first two games. And this one is Team Cody Sun got the early lead this time around, right? They used the advantage in their mid lane to get an advantage for their top laner, but it just hasn't stuck. They haven't been able to spread it enough. DarkWings and Fanatiik made a nice play in bottom lane. That accelerated them, and they've been able to push their lead much more effectively in this game number 3, like we've seen in games 1 and 2. So just very impressive stuff to come back from what was largely their first deficit in the early game in this entire block of 3.
See some pressure around this dragon, and Fanatiik's gonna find out OddOrange again. They try to go forward with a 3 talent strike. There comes the True Shot Barrage as well. Fanatiik ticking to about half HP. Nice flash forward in from Cody Sun. Will pick up the kill for himself. Here comes Chippys on the other side, using that teleport. Looking to go aggressive here, as we also see DarkWings getting dangerously low. Will end up picking up OddOrange, but has not died just yet. Big bullet coming out from Sketchdreams. That is why you pick the skin, as all of the bullets will fly, and Sketchdreams will pick up even more. And now they're going to try and finish the deal on this team, finish the deal on this set of games. DarkWings on a rampage, and now Sword and Chippys are so low under the tower. Winter picks up the kill with the plant, and it's all but done for Sword. Ace coming through for Team Gamsu.
Oh my God, Graves, just Team Cody Sun can't get anything going today. They make a very good counter engage onto Fanatiik when he finds OddOrange in the jungle. They get the early kill onto Fanatiik. It looks like it's gonna go well for them, but Gamsu arrives on the TP flank, and by the time the fight breaks down, all of the health bars are in favor of Team Gamsu.
Oh, no.
They clean them up. DarkWings outplays them in the bottom lane. Strompest is likely going to die on the end of this play. Question.
So
All right, he might get away. Okay, there he's got it.
Okay, it's good. I just saw like 2 very scary players running on with the Predator and the Yomus. They were just sprinting after Strompest. I bet he had like a oh no, like sort of reaction to that, but like he gets away just fine. And not so fine is the rest of his team, and the state of this game for himself. Down about 5,500 gold at 15 minutes is never a situation you want to be in.
No, it certainly is not. And there definitely are going to be options for this squad, right? Strompest is going to get strong. He's going to be able to play on the side lane. So is Chippys. But when you're down this far, it starts to get really scary around any sort of objective. There is a pretty solid wombo combo available for the likes of Team Gamsu, particularly when he has TP up for a flank. Gonna try to preempt that by going in. Sword.
Oh,
not
just
gonna
misses
connect.
out on the Zenith Blade. I mean, I feel like that's a situation where you press the E button and you're like, oh no, please don't let me hit. Please don't let it hit. I don't want to die. And then it misses, and you're like, oh, okay, we're good. But who might not be good is Strompest, who once again is getting targeted down here in the bottom side jungle. Deathmark used, flash forward from Fanatiik will secure the kill. Strompest cannot even walk around in his own territory. It all belongs to Team Gamsu.
Yep, it certainly does. With that bot lane turret already gone, it's not as powerful as the mid lane turret, but Team Gamsu certainly making it look like it is. DarkWings on his Deathmark cooldown, just roaming around looking for the kill, partnering up with Fanatiik. This mid jungle duo has been in full control in this game number 3, and they are just pushing the pace on their already massive lead. You can see the side of Team Cody Sun trying to make an equivalent play on the bottom side or on the top side of the map, but they just are not at the same pace. They're going to lose potentially 2 turrets for 1, or at least 1.5, and that's just not an equivalent trade.
And the entire Team Gamsu squad still rotated around this bottom side. Strompest is here to try and defend the turret, but I don't know if he knows that there's 4 members here on try to defend this. Here comes Gamsu on the top side, pops the Proto Belt. One more Shuriken will get flashed away from to prevent the stun. It's very scary Kennen here, even though he hasn't really seen too much of the action so far.
Yep, already has the rocket belt complete. Yet to the Everfrost, but Chippys already was low, didn't have a lot of mana, forced to flash away. And that makes it even worse, Grapes. They didn't even get the turret. They put 2 members in the top side to try to trade that gold, to try to get that extra gold on the Chippys. They don't even get the tier 1 turret, so they lose the mid lane turret. They nearly lose. They do lose the bot tier 2, so it's 2 turrets for nil. And now they might lose one in the tempo play because they are actually getting collapsed on.
Yeah, it looked like it was an aggressive play here for Team Cody Sun, but they're actually going to turn back onto the opposite way, looking for Winter here, but is very tanky there with the Aegis coming through. Also, I think Maelstrom is there. TheOddOrange will finally pick up the shutdown, but will fall in return, and so will Sword, 2 for 1. Going to Team Gamsu, punishing the aggressive play coming from the other side.
Yeah, TheOddOrange will take a bit of a prize with him as he finally takes down Winter on this dark technology of the Zyra, but again, what they thought was their collapse onto Gamsu was a collapse onto them instead. Chip card. Okay, we're just gonna
take a look at that. Take a look at that, DJ. You see how Sketchdreams did a whole lot more damage to Chippys than Chippys did to Sketchdreams
right?
on the bullet time.
Skin game, right?
You know, your words, not mine. I didn't say it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy. Well, skin game going well for Sketchdreams and the rest of his squad as again Team Gamsu Graves. We look across the state of the game. They are feeling great. They are 8k gold up at 17.5 minutes. They are walking into the enemy jungle with impunity, and TheOddOrange is going to die again.
He just wants to do his red buff in peace. Leave him alone. Fanatiik running forward, finishes off the kill. Going to be Sketchdreams or whatever the heck that set of letters is on our screen right now, picking that kill up third of the game. And now 5th tower of the game under fire here. Chippy's now stuck 1v4. Not going to be long for this world. DarkWings now picks up another kill. Unstoppable on this Zed. They're going to continue to push in onto the base, and it's an absolute slaughter here, DJ.
Yep, it is an absolute slaughter. It is a massive snowball. Whichever way you want to put it, the early game decision-making and composition choices from Team Gamsu have paid off all night long for them. They are looking very primed to pick up the first sweep of the amateur arena on day number 4. We are just 18.5 minutes in, and they are 10k gold to the good. There are already 2 items on Sketchdreams and DarkWings. That is absolutely disgusting.
Strange reference, but this feels like remember Cloud9 versus DFM, that best of 5, where like it looked like DFM was gonna win, and then not DFM, OCE versus Peace
Gaming,
where it was really close in the first one, and then it just has been 2 consecutive stomps after that. And that's kind of what we're looking at here, as Fanatiik just continuing to run his fat old body at the enemy team. That was Gamsu, though, steals away that explosive cast to try and disengage. Only gonna hit Fanatiik, though. Everfrost will get dodged away from. Nice chains coming out from Chippys, but I don't know if it's enough. There's the flash, there's the Maelstrom, body slam. Oh man, he just cannot move. Stunned up by the lightning is Chippys as he falls again.
Yeah, man, Fanatiik on that Predator Gragas. That is a fast-moving man. That is a big belly, and it is moving real quick, Grape. Some impressive body physics coming out from Fanatiik's Gragas, because he truly has been everywhere once again in this Game 3. The Predator has been so effective, and again, this has just been a clinic from Team Gamsu. They are just looking to cleanly end this game, because at this point, there's practically nothing for Team Cody Sun to do. I mean, Strompest is your only real late game hope, but he needs at least 2 more items before he could reasonably be a threat on a side lane, and it is a 0 map control.
Predator up again, which means Fanatiik's going forward again. Gonna try to lock up TheOddOrange. Nice 2-man Everfrost, but Fan might get caught out as well. Bullet time gonna go forward. TheOddOrange will pick up the kill in return before falling back down. They actually end up getting a kill onto DarkWings as well. Now Sword's forced to run away, but 3v3 here with Chippys now pushing onto the bottom side. Actually, Team Cody Sun get an advantageous trade. They're just gonna need a whole lot more to try and take this one.
Yep, that's the exact kind of thing we need to see from Team Cody Sun if they want to stick in this game. And I do believe Team Gamsu may be getting a little bit too hyphy with their lead. They lose 2 members. They give the shutdown gold over to the enemy squad. And that was all with Chippys split pushing, right? So that was a 3v5 that was won out by the likes of Team Cody Sun. So a little bit of limit testing coming in from Team Gamsu, but they are still very strong. They will walk down, take the second Drake. They will get themselves a fun soul this time around with Ocean Soul. And they will just go back and look to be a little more clean on their next push forward.
Yeah, you think like, oh, is this the start of the Team Cody Sun comeback? And then you remember that they're still down 8,000 gold. I mean, sure, if that happens 5 more times, the exact same play, maybe things will go a little bit differently. But for now, looks like Team Gamsu is still firmly in control of this third game. Now the Baron has spawned, a lot of attention focused around here. The vision coming through. Cask actually thrown out to Strompest. Engages on multiple fronts. Says, oh my goodness, Sketchdreams gonna one-shot Cody Sun on the opposite side. Sword will fall as well. And now we take a look towards the top lane here. Spurge gonna go in, take down Strompest as well. DarkWings finishes it off with the death mark. Big kills coming forward. And that is a much different outcome than what we saw in just the same area there.
Oh, massive collapse. Gamsu just kind of snuck in behind him. It gave Sketchdreams the confidence to flash forward, clean up the members, and the timers are fairly long here. Still 9 seconds on Sword, 11 on Cody Sun. I don't think it's going to be the end of the game. It's 2 inhibitors and at least a turret, if not more. I think stretching for the game might be a bit too much, but we'll see if they go for it.
Chippys takes away the slicing Maelstrom. Bullet time gonna get stopwatched away from, but here comes Cody Sun throwing out the true shot barrage. Chippys gets instantly deleted, and Sword will die as well. Here comes Strompest and the TheOddOrange. Still 4v3 for the time being here. TheOddOrange gonna land. The wind becomes lightning. Look to go forward, but oh my goodness. Sketchdreams showing why he switched to the other account, getting the skins, getting the triple kill. Could be the potential for more here. DarkWings steals away the potential for any sort of penta. Sketchdreams doesn't care though. He's a happy little bee. There goes Cody Sun. One more auto would do it. The Shuriken dodges away from it, and Cody Sun will just watch his Nexus fall for the 3rd time this game, this series. Sorry, Team Gamsu will take the win and will take the sweep tonight in the AoE Amateur Arena.
Massive performance from Team Gamsu in game number 3. Game 2 was a stomp. We saw some fight back from Team Cody Sun, but that was even bigger of a snowball, of a stomp, just start to finish. Incredible performance from Team Gamsu. They were everywhere. They were everything, and they slammed the door shut on this 3-0 sweep for themselves, the first one of the Amateur Arena.
Yeah. And that's an interesting stat that you just bring up there, DJ. Sure, it's only like the 4th day of in-houses here at AoE, but it seemed like a lot of the matches were pretty like tightly contested. Most of them have been 2-1s, but as you said, first 3-0 today. Don't think things were too bad for Team Cody Sun. Still had a lot of bright moments here, a lot of good plays coming out from some of their players. Really excited to see how Sword takes this gameplay that he had there in the support role and moves forward. But for now, it's Team Gamsu who's still going to be celebrating with that 3-0.
Certainly will be, and I hope they do have some fun celebrating. Winter can celebrate his first Zyra game as well and can continue to move forward for that. But it's just a very clean series for them, and I'm excited to hear what our analysts have to say about that game 3.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short break. When we return, Riley and the rest of the analysts will break down what happened, maybe get an interview after that. We'll see.
Boy, oh boy, that will wrap up the series for tonight. But what a what a display from Team Gamsu. Just overall, all 3 games, I think they really did a phenomenal job at executing what they wanted to execute, finding leads early, and just taking over the game all around. So definitely impressive stuff. I'm gonna pass it off to the analyst, Wester Ice and Koso. Let's break down what happened there. Why was that such a one-sided game?
So there's how I see it. There's like 2 facets to this game. I think the first one was the draft. The second thing is the in-game decision making, level 1. The first thing I wanted to point out is it seemed like blue side were able to get their champs that they like free counter picks, you know? So like red side, they picked Xin Zhao and Ryze together, which is a pretty strong 2v2 mid, right? But then left side, they just instantly locked Zed and Gragas, which is like, I'm not sure if that's good, but that's actually what they wanted, right? They can pick anything they want there. And just like giving blue side that counter pick when you're red side doesn't make too much sense to me. If you pick MF like that, then you should just pick Ezreal so that you can use that third pick to counter whatever blue side picks, right? So like they wouldn't have picked Zed like that if you just saved Ryze for 3p, right? So like that's just like something I question. Maybe they think Ryze is really OP to the point where you can just blind it, which I do think he is. And going to the game, I guess the only thing that I'm wondering, I think, so like from my perception, I'm pretty sure Xin Zhao should just destroy Gragas in the first clear. Like he could just do, like if Xin Zhao just matches the clear, like if Gragas starts blue, then Xin Zhao should start red, and then try to like catch him at his red, right? That's what I feel like should have happened. But Fanatiik did a pretty good job at just avoiding that Xin Zhao completely, got 2 full clears off, and was able to be like very relevant when he should be getting destroyed with Ryze Prio and Xin Zhao matching. So like just based off the 2v2 mid alone, they should have an advantage early game, but instead they opted into diving Gamsu Kennen, which then if he died, he lost TP, and then it seemed like Fanatiik was able to help him bail him out so that he can recall. And then it's just like after that first initial dive on Kennen, it didn't seem like they were able to get any footing after that, to the point where Zed has first item and Gragas first item, and then it just seemed like after like the early game was just I feel like was a kind of a blunder on the red side, but
yeah, I agree. Another point is that we talked about the Kennen longsword refill top side. He ended up going with Doran's blade. He did go Aerie to double down on the lane aggression. Again, if blue side was going for a Kennen isolated matchup which is winning, and red side is using their whole eggs, like the whole priority, tempo, whatever you want from mid jungle to punish that Kennen who will have that isolated agency in top side, but then they're not continuously punishing him so that Silas can continually beat him, then that whole aspect is negated, where you're putting all your eggs in the top basket, but then he's still losing an isolated matchup. But Ryze lost his 2 first, like his, I think it was wave 4 and 5, like he just completely lost them, and Zed was a level up, and then they didn't punish the Gragas clears, so Gragas was also full clearing. Meanwhile, bot was under tower getting plates, like just isolated 2v2. So the whole early game was needed to have better planning on the right side of the match, of the matchups. And I think again, the draft points were really, really necessary to bring up. I think getting double countered for no reason when enemy just, your blue side is first picking MF, and you already have the Ezreal, which is like the most prominent like counter or like neutralizer or good matchup into it. You should have just picked the Ezreal there and then gotten a better matchup.
Yeah. In the end, it seemed like blue side Gamsu's team had a very solid game plan to begin with, like starting from draft, and it looked like they executed all their strengths. Like they started grouping up on key timings, 3v3 mid, invading Xin Zhao when they're stronger. Like huge props to them, and good job Gamsu for holding down the fort. And it's just like after that first kill on Kennen, it just seemed like red side didn't have too much of a plan after that. Like I think they needed to like swap for Herald or like something, right? It did like just it seemed like they had a game plan after that. So
I think a big part of that is Fanatiik and Winter's synergy. They've been on teams together for a long time. They really synced up, and Winter was always at the right place at the right time. And when you have a mid champ that doesn't have that kind of agency, like against a Ryze, Zed versus Ryze should have prio, right? Winter was always there to help Zed get the prio that is unnatural for him to get, and then they were making plays based off that, or it was just like neutralizing plays that the Leona was trying to make mid. So really well played by Winter and Fanatiik and the whole of Gamsu's team. Gamsu, sorry. And yeah, we're really exciting matches. I mean, game 1 was close. Game 2 and 3 were not so close, but I think the players learned a lot from this, and this is a good opportunity for them to look back, watch the games, and realize the mistakes they made in draft and in early mid game.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. And obviously, speaking of good opportunities, Amateur Arena is created with the intention of promoting player movement up the ladder, as far as it can go. I'd love to just get some feedback and advice from the both of you for the players about what can they actually do to improve their odds and their prospects of moving up to Academy.
For me, I mean, I think there's two ways to look at it. One for the players, and two for the people that are scouting these players. I think for the player side, I think the players did a great job today. I think everyone kind of put in like what they were to offer, and it's really hard to work together as a team, especially when you're playing with different players every single time. It's harder to like integrate yourself with like 4 new players with like different views of the game, different ideas. Like you saw in like a few of these games where it was very clear that some players had different ideas. So they made like conflicting plays going against win cons, or they thought something was right when this other player thought something else was right, So like it does take a while for players to like kind of adjust to each other and get to know each other. So like when you swap players too often, then it is a little bit harder. So then you opt for more easier team comps, right? Like easier to execute team comps. So, and then to the other side, for the the people that are scouting these players, I think you should I think just like basing scouting off of just result it's a very harsh thing to do, because like look like Sword, for example, right? Like he literally just swapped to support, and like it's very expected that he's not gonna know everything. Like he's not gonna have all the information as much as Winter does. Although Winter did amazing and he did great in Proving Grounds as well, and it's like he's willing to make the swap, and just like seeing him in the past, like he's very mechanically gifted, right? And I think with some time, he'll be able to go head to head with like some of the better supports. And Gamsu, for example, like I think he's an amazing player too. And sometimes, like yesterday, it looked like he was having a hard time. He had a much better time today, but then it looked like in some games he was on a different page than Fanatiik. So like all these players are great, and I've seen very good things from them, and they all have their own strengths. But basing things off a result is kind of counterintuitive, especially when you're trying to mesh them with the team that you're creating.
Yeah, good points. I think my biggest point that I would give to players is that there's a lot of struggle that comes with decision making in game, especially in amateur scene. I think players focus too much on playing a lot of solo queue and not consuming league content, especially when there's a tournament like Worlds going on right now. You don't need to like switch your whole sleeping schedule to match with the Worlds to watch it live, but definitely watch a lot of competitive gameplay, no matter what the region is, and try to integrate some of the plays that you see are interesting. Maybe a new jungle clear, like let's say you see Kriana for the first time doing like Red Raptor Scrum for the fastest level 3. Integrate that into your game, see how you can make it work, and then look at also your own plays and try to pinpoint what you did wrong, what you could have done better, what the enemy team did right if they ended up winning the game, and use that to improve instead of just permanently solo queuing, because it's not that much of a learning experience if you're just spamming games after another without putting thought into it.
Yeah, I think you have some pretty important points there. Like scouting solo queue is not always better. Whenever you practice, it should be deliberate. Like just playing more doesn't make you better. Like you gotta be deliberate on what you're actually working on. Yeah. And sometimes you can find that in watching VODs, like you said, watching other players, getting ideas. But in the end, like you shouldn't be following a different player religiously. How I see it is when you watch VODs and of other players, I think is a great way to find ideas that you like, and then ideas that you can create for your own, So with my players on C9A, I never actually tell them to play a certain way. I always ask them to, hey, what are your strengths? Like, how do you want to play the game? And then just like focus on that, you know, like acknowledge your strengths, but then also acknowledge your weaknesses and work on that. But in the end, it's all about knowing what you're good at and trying to push that as much as possible.
Yeah, it's really good to know what your player strengths are. Like I was working with a top laner, Cozy Shroud, who was on Hardvex, who was on Supernova last play with me, and there seems to be a lot of flip situations when he plays those volatile matchups. And when you have a player like that that likes to make those individual micro superior plays and get his lead through that way, let's say you have like a 70-30 matchup or a 30-70 matchup, not in his favor, but he turns it into a good, percent play for him, and he executes it. You want to make sure that that player is making this play at the right time, and he's not flipping when he shouldn't be flipping, or just like we saw with the Gamsu Chippy situation, Set Fiora matchup. It could have worked out, but he was crashing 2.5 waves, and he didn't need to make that play happen. So these situations are really important. Timing is everything in League of Legends. So make sure you pinpoint, or if you're a coach, just tell your team, acknowledge their strengths, but just remind them of or teach them when is the appropriate time to make that play.
Yeah, I was actually having lunch with Firefire the other day. He said something that really stuck out to me. It's like, this kind of goes back to the Fiora and Set matchup. It's like, yeah, you could kill the Fiora, but should you?
Yeah.
This isn't the way that you're gonna win the game. The way that you're gonna win the game is to scale with the Tristana. But killing that Fiora, it's just way too risky for the reward that it gives you. So this is something you can always ask yourself or players whenever you go into game, leaving base. Like, how do I want to play the game? It's just something to consider.
Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting, what Firefire said. But, I want to thank you both, Westrice and Koso, for joining us on the analyst desk tonight. I think it's really awesome that you're showing support for the players in this way, and certainly support for the scene. And without further ado, we're going to roll into the interview. We have Sketchdreams that will be talking with DJ and Grapes. And honestly, I'm really excited for this interview. Stay tuned and check it out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, see you.
Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the
Back, everybody, to the AoE Amateur Arena. I'm Grapes, literally joined by DJ, and we're here with a very special guest here. Sketchdreams, welcome here to the stream. How are you feeling after that pretty easy 3-0? I want to say.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was easy, but I'm feeling pretty good. These are a lot of fun, and I'm really glad we're doing them.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, right, this is day 4 of the Amateur Arena, and I think this is the first sweep we've had thus far. How do you feel it's going? You've been involved in I'm pretty sure every day, if not most of them. So do you feel like the quality's been good all 4? Is it getting better? How are you feeling about Amateur Arena so far?
Yeah, I've been involved in 3 of them, and all three times the games were super fun. Everybody is super relaxed, super chill, and it's so much better than solo queue because everybody is tryharding. Like, they want to go to the next level, and this type of arena provided by Riley is giving them the chance because of everybody watching rather than just spamming solo queue. And especially right now, solo queue is horrible because everybody's gone. So just playing in these is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and adding on to that a little bit, you talked about how these games are much more competitive than solo queue, but I want to get a little bit of insight of what it's like to be in a call with all of these really top level players. You had Gamsu on your team today, who literally won Proving Grounds a couple of weeks ago. How's the environment like, and is everyone trying to get each other better, and is it friendly and things like that?
Yeah, so the first thing we did whenever we joined call was we talked about what we're trying to first pick and stuff like that, and what we need to ban for whenever we were blue side and red side. So everybody was putting in their input for that. And during the game, if something went wrong, nobody said anything. Everybody just moved on, trying to find the next play. And even if you inted, it didn't matter. People just kept on going, and it was just all laughs, honestly.
Speaking of picks and bans, I got to walk through at least game 3 before we maybe focus in on some of your performances tonight. I know Winter tried to play this Zyra in day 1 of Amateur Arena, and they actually caught on and banned it away. What's up with the Zyra pick coming out from Winter?
Yeah, so Winter said he watched somebody in Korea do it where he goes Guardian against like these tank supports, and it's literally you're unkillable apparently. Which after this game, I completely believe him. It was we just pushed them, and they could do literally nothing about it. You just can't kill it for some reason, and it has a lot of utility. So I'm a believer now, honestly.
And maybe we'll see some Zyra moving forward from you guys. And adding on to that, you guys had a lot of really aggressive bot lane play throughout the day. You had the Draven, obviously, that really did super well. And you also had this Misfortune pick, but I noticed when you went on to the other, when you went to pick that Misfortune, you went onto a different account. And I think I heard that it's because of the skin situation. I need a review on that.
Yeah, okay, my other account doesn't own a Misfortune skin. And if you play base Misfortune, you're literally a bot. Like, if you don't own a skin, you kind of have to get one. So I had to switch accounts.
Is that like a Misfortune specific thing? Is that like all champions? Like, are there champions that have an acceptable base skin?
Yeah, like Misfortune and Ashe, they have like the worst base skins ever to exist. They feel horrible.
Just like it's unplayable, basically.
Yeah, it's
you would have
unplayable.
lost lane if you did.
Yeah, I would have been like 0-15. That's how bad it is.
Instead, you went
all right, skin buff, a real thing, I guess, according to Sketchdreams. Well, one other question I want to ask is, you guys had a pretty solid bot lane in general. You know, how did you feel going up against this? Is, you know, the TSM 80 carry, now the TSM support. Yeah, how did you feel Sword was playing? He's just swapped to support recently, and how do you guys feel about your performance today, you and Winter?
Honestly, I feel like we did a really good job, besides like one blunder that happened game 2, but they ended up losing the game off of it anyways. Like, no flame, but Sword has a lot to learn, personally, at least in lane, because they did absolutely nothing, and they had no idea what to do, like, if something got frozen on them or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. Felt pretty good laning against them.
Looking forward to seeing Sword in the future, potentially down in the support role as well. Final question for you, Sketchdreams, before we start to wrap things up. I don't know if you've been watching this stream, but I'm wearing a specific set of things right now. I have a Grapes costume on to kind of match my name. I made a bet with DJ a while ago, and I ended up losing it, and this is the result. But
do you prefer grapes or oranges?
Yeah, that was the question. Like, are you a grapes guy? Do you like some other fruits?
Or are you an odd orange guy?
I'm an odd orange guy. Oranges all the way.
Oh, grapes can't catch a win anywhere.
Oh man, I mean, to be fair, I do like oranges as well. I don't know if grapes are necessarily my favorite fruit, but you know, like they're pretty solid.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, like if I see some grapes, I'll eat them, you know. Yeah, but if I had to pick between grapes or an orange, you got to go with the orange, man.
All right, there you go. Odd Orange got the superior fruit name. Unfortunate grapes. Unfortunate.
That's unlucky. We'll take the next one. Anyway, Sketchdreams, thank you so much for joining us here on the interview. Before we wrap things up, any shoutouts you want to have before we?
Just shout out to everybody at AOE. Like, this org they're really trying to push it all the way, and they're trying to provide as many opportunities as they can to not just the people inside their org, but even the people outside, by even just setting up this. Because I know this took a lot of work, like a lot. And it's going pretty well in my opinion. So shout out to Riley and all the people at AOE.
Yep, definitely. Thank you to everybody at AOE. Thank you, Sketchdreams, for the interview. Have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, thanks for having me.